in the air. We're joining you here on a kind of warm Friday night from Gately Stadium off of 103rd on the south side of Chicago for a Chicago Public League matchup between your Whitney Young Dolphins and the Phillips Wildcats. I'm Barry Newman, joined by Jack Wildermuth, the pride of Sydney, Ohio, and West Point Military Academy. Jack, good to have you on board.
Barry Newman, so great to be with you here on the south side of Chicago, a long way from Random Lake, Illinois. Let's see.
Wisconsin, man.
I was so excited about saying fins up. I messed up. Random Lake, Wisconsin. Go Packers. They got a tie. Maybe that'll come up during the broadcast. And you paid $7 billion for one player. That's going to work out great. So outside of that, Whitney Young Dolphins against Phillips here on the south side of Chicago. We're going to get our fins up and try to get a victory tonight.
Yeah, let's get those fins up, get rolling here. So let's set the stage tonight. Dolphins with a nice bounce-back game last week against Lincoln Park. So got that win, pushed them to 4-1 on the year, 2-1 in the Chicago Public League Metro Division. That was a tougher game than maybe some of us thought would happen going in, and it was tight. And again, some of the themes that we were talking about of like the Bennett Newman key last week was get off the field, and we struggled a little bit. On third down and fourth down again. Gave up that end of half touchdown, but then second half really dominated by the Dolphins. Became the Rayton Scottmere game. Rayton with 2 touchdowns and 4 catches, 102 yards, highest receiving total. Maxwell Warner doing his thing, and then defensively, really an adjustment to make sure that we kept their quarterback in the pocket, and we had this kid number 4 that was just flying all over the field. Jacob Wildermuth had the game of his Whitney Young career. I mean, that's not an understatement at all.
It was nice to see the Jacob and several of these seniors really develop over time, and I think Coach Finger is going to talk a little bit about the depth. And we do have number 11, the Leatherman. We have a new nickname, Barry.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new nickname. It's new to us, but it's not new to the crew. I mean, this team aptly calls him Riz God.
Riz God, number 11.
Yeah,
Riz God.
Yeah, and I love it. And it's Rayton's mom sent us a video this week that showed Rayton through the years as a football player, like from a very young age. I think it was his maybe like a kindergarten graduation, and Rayton went up to the front, and everybody else was. I think they announced your name, and then they announced what you wanted to be. So the kid before Rayton was this kid. He goes up there, and then they announce him, and they're like, Jimmy Smith wants to be an astronaut, and Rayton goes up there, and they're like, Rayton Scottmere. Rayton wants to be a linebacker for the Green Bay Packers, and he gets booed. But it was great. It was great seeing him through the years, and it just crystallized how much of a baller of football. I mean, he's playing next to the football player at inside linebacker, but Rayton Scottmere as the Riz God is as much of a baller as Joseph Gray, and you can tell that on the field. I mean, some of these guys, too, it's sort of funny, and it's one of the things that I like to do in the postseason interviews, both in media day at preseason, but then if we have an opportunity to do some things at the banquet, because we see all these guys out there on the field. I think it's awesome when you actually get them without the helmet and pads on, and you can see them. And then you look at a guy like Rayton Scottmere, we got listed at 5'9", 167. That was probably him weighing in with his pads on.
He had rocks in his pockets for sure.
But I got to tell you, just fun to watch these guys develop. I had a chance to catch up with Coach Finger a couple days ago down at Michelle Obama Field after practice. Let's check what Coach had to say about last week's game and leading into today's game against Phillips.
All right, I'm here with Coach Dan Finger. Coach Finger, tough, good win last week up at Lane against Lincoln Park. You had a bunch of new guys in on that offensive line. and you kind of had to grind that game out. Tell us about some of those guys.
Yeah. Starts with Alex Olszewski moving to center, and I don't think the average fan probably realizes just how much goes on the center. He's got to do everything that everybody else has to do, except he's also got to start the play with a snap. And if he doesn't do that, nobody else's job really matters. And Alex did a really good job. I think there was just one iffy snap in the game, and otherwise they were all good. And then he's got to learn new blocking assignments, right? The play is different for each of the O-linemen. So starts with him. He did a great job there. And then Ben Miller, who's been a mainstay for us coming in and out of that offensive line unit this year. And then Max Tunk and McKinley Williams stepping up, filling roles when we needed them most, and playing against a good, complicated front. It's not your basic 4-down front that Lincoln Park runs. They run a bit more complicated, odd scheme where there's only 3 down linemen, and so it can be difficult to know who's got who and where that guy's going. It's much less predictable. So really good job mentally from those guys as well, adapting. They did a really good job. I think Coach Eddie tries to keep 7 or 8 guys ready every week, and it paid off for sure this past week.
All right, and then Max again, a couple big runs. Von Conrad just doing his thing back there. Your receiving core. I mean, we know what Miles Barsma does. He had the breakout game last year and has just continued that. Raging Scottmere is a guy, I mean, his first touchdown catch, I don't think anybody in the building thought he was going to come down with that, and he just had a monster game.
Yeah, I think he looks like Willie Mays sometimes in the outfield, and he's a baseball guy, so he's got the best hands, I think, of anybody I've ever coached. And all respect to Anthony Hood and Amir Abdullah and some guys who had really, really good hands, but Rayton comes down with everything, even if it's just a hitch. He had a couple really big 3rd or 4th down catches against Morgan Park, and then finally got the deep ball going this past week. We knew they were going to give us that 3-high look, or that single high safety, and so the seams were going to be there, and Vaughn did a really good job manipulating the safety with his eyes and then putting the ball on Rayton. Rayton was not allowing second-level defenders to kind of wall him at all. He was getting skinny through those zones in the defense, got vertical at the seam, and just made every play that we could have possibly asked from him. And it's exciting because, he's a quiet guy, but it's fun for me to always see him show that kind of emotion that he does when he gets to score. And we've got a new nickname for you, Barry. I don't know if you've heard this one, but the kids call him Riz God.
Riz God.
Riz God. Rayton the Riz God, which I love. I've probably used that nickname more than any other nickname on the team. So, but yeah, really excited for him, and a guy who's kind of waited in the wings. We had a great year, obviously, last year and the year before, and in 2019, Rayton would have been starting as a sophomore, probably both ways on varsity, and was a guy who started neither way on varsity this past year, and as a junior, and kind of waited his turn, and now he's a 2-way starter who's making a ton of plays on both sides of the ball and getting in the end zone, and just he's got a great nickname, and it's a lot of fun to kind of see that maturation and his patience pay off there.
Yeah, his mom actually sent me a video today, and I'll need to forward it to you. It was him as a kid, and when he was maybe graduating from, I don't know, 1st grade or something like that. And the question was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said, Green Bay Packer linebacker.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, he's a great linebacker. He's been a great player. It's a shame that he's a Packers fan, but and I know you disagree with me on that, Barry. But there's nothing when you see him on the street that says this kid's a ferocious tackler, a physical football player, with silky smooth hands, but that's exactly who he is, and we're grateful to have him.
Yeah, so let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball. Well, you were talking there, but let's talk about another linebacker that you put on the field this past week. Number 4, flying around all over the field in a new starting role, Jacob Wildermuth.
Yeah, Jacob, again, stepped up, and he's been playing one of these things where, Logan Lopez and Josiah Purnell have been starting, but we've been rotating Jacob, not because those guys did anything wrong, but because he's earned blank. Like, it's not like, hey, we don't like what you're doing or you're doing anything wrong or anything like that. It's just Jacob deserves to be on the field. Even if he's not starting, he deserves to get reps. And then this week when we had some guys out against Lincoln Park, Jacob gets a starting role and attacked it, head on. And they have some good tight ends. They have some interesting, funky physical formations. Jacob adapted, and obviously that quarterback's a lot to handle. So we did a great job rallying in the second half and figuring out how we were going to attack him. And I thought Jacob and John Spellers in particular were really relentless in the pursuit, and that's what helped us contain him much better in the second half than we did in the first. And so another guy, Jacob, I think if Coach Malik or some of these other guys could hear that Jacob Wildermuth is starting and coming up with a sack and a half or whatever he had against Lincoln Park, they'd say no way. They'd call bull junk, as Coach Prime says. But he absolutely played really, really well, and he's a guy who's matured so much, and we're excited to continue that process with him.
All right. Phillips team, Gately traveling down there. They've had some challenges, but they also laid a 47-0 on Johnson to start their CPL journey. What are you looking at for this game?
Yeah, always going to be athletic, always going to be physical. One of the most athletic and physical teams in the CPL. Obviously, the recent history for them has been really, really good, and they may not hit that ceiling this season, but they're going to challenge you physically and with their speed. They're going to have a lot of size up front. We know our guy Deontay is at left tackle there. He's a really good player and presents a challenge in the run and pass game defensively for us. But they're also going to have some really quick corners and kind of give us a funky quarters look. Not something that we saw last week from Lincoln Park at all. They're going to, Lincoln Park was 3 down and 1 high, and Phillips is going to give us 2 high and 4 down. So it's, we got to kind of pivot and learn a totally new defense to attack offensively. And then, they're going to be spread. They're going to have a tight end. They're going to do some 2-back, but mostly going to be spread. That quarterback is another really good runner. So that, was something we had to emphasize last week, especially in that second half, trying to corral the kid from Lincoln Park. So that's a big point of emphasis this week in terms of learning how to deal with the scramble, stay sticky to receivers as DBs, and then have that off linebacker fly downhill to make a tackle a little better than we did last week. But they're always going to have really good players athletically and physically, and we're excited for that challenge. I don't think I've beat Phillips since I've been here as head coach, and go down to Gately and try and get in the win column against them.
All right, sounds good. Go Dolphins.
Thanks. Go Dolphins.
All right, there's Coach Finger giving us the preview of the game. And, yeah, we've been discussing. Tony McHale went back and looked, and we think that the last time the Dolphins defeated Phillips was 21 years ago. 21 years ago, before any of these kids on the field tonight were even born, were even a glimmer in their parents' eyes.
The parents were probably only dating at that point. It's a long time, and I remember some tough losses and a beatdown maybe in the fall of 2021 for a pretty good Dolphin team. So let's hopefully we can come out strong and get a win here.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about Phillips. So they opened the Chicago Public League schedule, as we mentioned in the opening with Coach Finger, as a 47-0 shutout of Johnson. Then they lost to Lincoln Park. So if there's any sort of transitive property involved, they lost to Lincoln Park 28-16, and then they were shut out last week by Morgan Park. And they, in addition to facing Whitney Young tonight, then kind of have a murderer's row the rest of their schedule. They've got Lane, Simeon, and Kenwood to face down the stretch. Head coach Ivan Simmons is in his second year at the helm of the Wildcats. He's 5-9 over the first 2 years of his career. Phillips, again, they have historically been a powerhouse within the Chicago Public League. They are the only program in CPL history to have state titles. So they got a state title back in 2015 in Class 4A, and then 2 years later, 2017 in Class 5A. So those were all under head coach Troy McAllister. Coach McAllister, we mentioned last week, had left Phillips, went to Sandburg, built the program there, and now is over at Homewood Flossmoor. If you want to look back even further, and some of the players that have played here at Phillips, big name that comes up is Chris Hinton, a Northwestern guy. So check Northwestern off your bingo card. But Hinton was eventually what he's famous for, in addition to being in the 7 all-pro teams. He was the guy traded from Denver to the Indianapolis Colts in the John Elway trade.
Interesting.
So Hinton was actually I think the third or fourth pick in that draft, and so he ended up going from Denver, along with some other draft capital, to Indianapolis for the famous Elway. Elway kind of did that little power play to get things going. And then later Hinton was also traded for Jeff George, for the number 1 pick in the draft, Jeff George. Let's get underway here. We got Phillips going to be kicking deep for the Dolphins, are Maxwell Warner, and I think that's Mason Abdul-Alim. He's without his green gloves, which are always important for us to be able to see what's going on there.
He's rocking 18 now, if that's him.
That could be different. I think that's
Danico Fox.
Yeah, it's Danico Fox, who will get to some of the injuries. I think Danico Fox may be trying to get the ball in his hands because he will be the third running back tonight. He's got it. Nice block there, trying to get up, gets across to the 25-yard line, where he is met and dropped by Michael Duncan, the senior for Phillips. So Danico Fox getting the action there at the kickoff return. I mentioned he'll be the number 3 running back tonight. Sean Miller, the Ninja, is sidelined tonight with a lower body injury, so it looks like we were missing him tonight, which also will mean Yanni Luze will be doing the kicking duties. Also, offensive line, do have Ben Miller checking in again at the right tackle position. Efren Solano out, but the rest of that UN security force in play. Receiver to the top, 2 to the bottom. Warner in the backfield.
Ooh.
Conrad getting Duras with some room to rumble.
Wow, yeah.
He's right across close to the 50-yard line, where he's hit by Ezekiel Williams.
Sheldon Williams had 2 steps on the corner, but a great completion, great start to the game.
Well, and Phillips, knowing what Maxwell Warner has done, coming in with over 500 yards already rushing and 9 touchdowns on the ground, they were keyed in on him, so it was a nice little play action. Vaughn got out, delivered a nice ball into Phillips territory. First down at the 49. There's Rizgod in motion.
Love it already, Rizgod.
Going to get a flag, false start, and Phillips is going to pick up probably an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on that, where Maxwell Warner did take the handoff, went up the middle, and then was clocked by Kevin Johnson downfield.
Well, quickly, Barry, I'd like to go over. I chatted with Bennett Newman down in Bloomington, Indiana, this afternoon. Bye week for the undefeated Hoosiers. They head to Eugene next week, so he had some time to outline the Bennett Newman keys to the game, brought to you by your Chicago area Ferrari dealers. And one is finished plays. Last week we saw several times where we had men in the backfield, couldn't bring the quarterback down. That's number 1. And then on defense, and number 2 is the Rizgod. Get the ball to number 11. Formerly Swiss Army knife, formerly the Norwegian Army knife made in China, formerly the Leatherman, now Rizgod.
I think he's all of those. I mean, I think he's still, it's just like we just have to add more onto his CV, so he gets that. So I think what ends up happening here is there was a procedure penalty, illegal motion on the or a false start on the Dolphins, but then you got the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So we've got first down at the 39. So that was a +10 on that. Conrad signals, low snap. Maxwell Warner trying to get something going. Not much there. Amin Robinson came up from his strong safety position, 6'1", 220-pounder. That's what you're going to see across the board. I mean, Coach Finger mentioned it. There's definitely some athleticism on this Phillips team. They can fly around a bit, and there's definitely some size on that defense and offensive line. One guy, Charles Ramsey, who is listed number 79, is listed as a freshman. They don't have a weight on him, but he's 6'2". He's rushing from a DN position, so keep your eyes on him.
It's a big front.
Duras in motion. There's the give to Max Warner, looking for a seam. Picks up maybe 3 or 4 up to the 35-yard line.
On the carry, tackled by number 5.
Yeah, some nice
Robinson
blocking
again
on the
with
left,
the tackle.
left side there. 72, Dylan Pericini, who may have a new nickname. I don't know if it's official or not.
I think it's official. I think that Dylan's new nickname is Dragon Warrior.
Dragon Warrior there.
So you got the Dragon Warrior. Logan Jones, he of no nickname, is holding now left tackle. Ben Miller, right tackle. UN Security Force also with Big Country. Nice little pass over on the side. A little hot. Came in a little hot for Bennett Duras. So going to bring up a 4th down here. 4th and 5. Football player Joseph Gray checks in, so it looks like we're going to go with the 2 running backs in the backfield. Conrad collecting the play from Coach Eddie Boucher. Just underway here in the first quarter. 10 minutes to go. 0-0. Chicago Public League action coming to you from Gately Stadium on the south side of Chicago. Williams, Duras, receivers to the right. Big play, Bardsman to the top. Inside give to Maxwell Warner. He's fighting for the first down. Gets it with the third effort. Across the 30-yard line. Move the chains.
Not much there. Picks up the first down.
Lost the shoe. Blew out a wheel. Football player Gray and his orange cleats are going to stay in while the pit crew gets to work on Maxwell Warner over on the sidelines.
Nice. Speaking of the weather, brought to you by Paul Conrad and the Paul Conrad Oktoberfest Singers. You can see them in Rockford, Illinois tomorrow. 76 degrees, dew point of 63, low humidity, and it's the moon is almost full.
Yeah, it's all right. Conrad flips it over quickly to big play Bardsma. He's on his feet, wrestled out of bounds, close to the 20. I think they're going to probably mark that at about the 20. Call it the 22 and a half, 23.
Specifically, so Paul doesn't get mad, it's a waxing gibbous.
Waxing gibbous, yeah, absolutely,
gibbous.
Which is like 85% visible. It's behind us. Oh, it's right over there.
Oh, yes.
We won't make Remy turn around and get that shot, but it's watching the game just like the rest of you out there.
Beautiful.
So pickup of actually quite a bit on that. Call it 7 on that play for Bardsma. There's the orbit motion. Conrad going to keep it.
VK5.
Conrad, I think that's going to be enough for a first down. Shot in over that right or left-hand side. Again, with the middle of that offensive line. Big Country Alex Oshevsky again at center tonight with Efren Solano out. MJ Woods and Pericini, the Dragon Warrior, in the middle. Good drive underway here for the Dolphins. They took that opening kickoff, started at their 25-yard line, got it inside the 20 of the Phillips Wildcats. Bardsma to the top. Joseph Gray, running back to the right of Conrad. 3 receivers to the right. Conrad flips it over quickly to the Riz God, Scottmere.
Nice.
Scottmere's got enough for a first down.
Takes a hit. He just pops right up like he wasn't even hit. Riz God.
That's what they do.
Yes.
So just inside the 10. So I think we're going to have a first and goal from the 9 3/4 yard line. 8 minutes left here. First quarter just underway.
Pass is called by Scottemeyer for Dolphins first down.
First down Dolphins, brought to you by Sorelli's Finer Foods. Go see him out there on North Avenue
Yeah,
this
get
weekend.
yourself some Italian beef. There's Duras in motion. Pony backfield, Gray and Warner. Conrad gets picked off.
Oh.
This is going to go to the house unless Conrad's got the angle on him.
Wow.
Switching hands, Conrad with a big tackle, but all the way down inside the 40-yard line. That was a nice pick there. That was Michael Duncan who made the tackle on the special teams. I think Duncan, lurking from his linebacker position there, was able to pick it off. Conrad's got some wheels, so he was able to get over there and save the touchdown.
Yeah, he was bringing out his number, the Quinn Duhan number 5 speed there, thankfully. Saved the touchdown.
Yep, speed and tackling ability. So that ball, that was a first and goal inside the 10, and Phillips takes it all the way back to the Dolphin 40-yard line.
Sideline
Sideline warning against
That
the
is their first sideline warning of the ball game.
Wildcats. So
right.
D-line and Agent Zero, John Speller, 72. What are we going with? Dragon King? Dragon
Warrior.
Dragon Warrior is in the game.
Cordell Lee, quarterback, gives it. Stacked
Nothing.
up immediately in the backfield. That was your Dragon Warrior right there.
Warrior.
Dylan Pericini making the tackle on Hall. Wellington Hall, senior running back. He had a nice 50-yard touchdown pass versus Johnson. Also a nice run against Lincoln Park a couple weeks ago. So you're going to see a bunch of guys in the backfield. Wellington Hall, number 22, number 23, Jamillion Howard also. He had a touchdown run against Johnson. We've seen him pick up some other things. And you're going to see a lot of screen passes, a lot of wide receiver screens out of this team. So they're going to stick in that pony formation again. Lee, the quarterback, inside give.
Movement.
But a whistle and a flag down on the play.
So linebackers, the truth,
Yeah.
Josiah Purnell back in the game. Double L, Logan Lopez joins him on the outside. Inside linebackers are football player Joseph Gray and Rayton Scottmere Risgod.
So false start by Phillips. They're a little out of sorts on that, so they're going to back him up 5 yards. They had lost 2 on that first down play, so now it's going to be 2nd and 17. They've got to get it out to the 30-yard line. I call it 16. 2nd and 16. So again, those inside linebackers been playing well, but as Coach Finger said, and I'll actually, if we have time tonight, I'll do a quick run through of a bunch of stats. And one of the observations I have is that the production that's coming from these outside linebackers, Wildermuth, Lopez, and the Truth Purnell. 2nd and long, Cordell Lee waiting for that pass.
MJ the Bull Woods, a little
Wide
push.
open in the middle.
Oh, fumble!
Ball is out. Scottmere causes the fumble, and Williams, I think, on the pickup. So that ball was completed over the middle. Found a soft spot in the zone to Calvin Moore, but the Riz God, Rayton Scottmere, punched it out. We won't call it a Peanut Tillman because Scottmere is a Packers fan. We'll call it a Charles Woodson. I'm sure Charles Woodson was doing that decades before. We've got 2 turnovers already in this game. 6 minutes left in the first quarter. We got the interception and now the fumble. And the Dolphins are back in business. Ball at the 41-yard line, their own 41. Williams settles in over on the left-hand side. Von Conrad looking deep. He's got a receiver. Rayton Scottmere handles it in at the 10. Still on his feet. Gets down to the 2-yard line.
Wow. Yeah, that could have been a tougher. The ball hung in the air quite a bit. Rayton just tracked it down in stride.
Well, good job, Conrad. That's what you want to do on those long passes. Put some air under it and let your receivers run underneath it. Scottmere, Bardsma, been doing that work out there. Scottmere just continues again. He had 4 catches for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. Now Dolphins at the 2-yard line. Maxwell Warnick, Conrad going to keep it. Just hammered it up the middle. Oh, yeah, he flew right through there for the touchdown, I think. I mean, I'm waiting for where's the signal?
We don't have.
Where is the signal? Well, how could he possibly be down? He's staying on his feet. He was all the way to the back of the end zone.
He walked through the end zone.
What is going on? Coach Finger is like, what's happening? How did anybody not mark that a touchdown?
Or do they know where the goal line is?
Yeah, now he called it a touchdown.
Here we are. Yeah. I think the refs thought it was I think they must have thought that was the 5-yard line. I don't know.
It was very confusing, and I mean, it wasn't like forward progress was ever stopped. So there we go, touchdown. Very strange looking Von Conrad rushing touchdown, his 2nd on the year. Now we got a new doctor, Dr. Luze, in for Dr. Miller. Tim Edwards on the long snap. Dr. Conrad, he's a doctor, Tim Edwards. He's going to snap it to Dr. Von Conrad. Luze going to fire up the extra point, and it goes through. Fires through.
Solid. Yoni senior, 5'11", 148.
On the board, Dolphins capitalize on the check it. Rayton Scottmere caused fumble. Rayton Scottmere, so that was at the 40. He got all the way to the 2, so about a 61-yarder, and then the Conrad touchdown after that. And Dolphins are in business, up 7-0 here.
So
with
Dolphin
5:13 left.
Kickoff team, Jacob Wildermuth in the game, 8 Brian Pentoya, 26 Nevin Hinkle. They've had the truth is in back today at 3, and Agent Zero John Spellers back on the kickoff team.
All right, so Luze is going to line it up.
Also the Dinger and 42 Kendall Lynham.
All right, deep to receive. Looks like we have a number 6, which I don't have on my roster, and a number 26. 26, I'm going to go with Cameron Mosley.
Let's see who's going to get shot out of a cannon this time, Barry.
I got my money on 4.
Let's go 4.
All right, Luze going to kick it away from the 40. Line drive kick. Fielded by number 6.
Get there, Jacob.
He's across the 25.
Woo!
There's Wildermuth making the tackle in the spin cycle. In the spin cycle, and then joined by a few other of his friends. Fins were up on that one.
Fins up. Nice kick coverage.
So good job by the special teams unit. Luze got it down there. Dolphins take over. So again, if you are joining us late, which I can't imagine why you would ever join us late, first possession, Dolphins put together a really nice drive. We're inside the 10 with a 1st and goal, and intercepted. Conrad pass intercepted. Conrad put his cleats in overdrive to make the tackle at the 40, and then after a couple plays, Scottmere forces a fumble. Williams comes up with the recovery, and then a long pass to Scottmere. Dolphins on the board, 7-0. Lee, handoff up the middle, running into a massive humanity on that left-hand side.
We have 54 Adrian Daviar checked in, as well as 20 the Dinger.
All right, Dinger in at a linebacker position. Scottmere out. Joseph Gray in on that tackle as well. Spellers, Agent Zero, checking in at the right defensive end. Paracchini and Big Country, I think, as well. Well, it's MJ Woods out there, so those are your starting linemen. And Phillips comes to the line. Cordell Lee, again, they're going to use a bunch of different guys in the backfield. I'm thinking that's probably number 22, Hall, to his right. He's got 2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. Cordell back to pass. Sacked!
Nice, double L.
Logan Lopez with the sack.
I think he's the team leader in sacks this year.
He's right there.
Yeah,
He's got that's his he's got 3.5 now on that one. And Marquise Woods, I think you are right on this, because I think Woods came in with 3 sacks. These are all unofficial numbers, of course, but yeah, that's right there. And again, that production that's happening from those outside linebackers continues in this game.
Nicely done. Let's see if our corners can match up here.
Brings up 3rd and about 13. 3 receivers to the left for Lee, 1 to the top for him. Running back in the backfield to his left. Lee back to pass.
Get there, 1.
Oh, nice delivery. And
get there, Bennett.
I'm not sure we're going to catch him this time. That is number 9, Michael Turner, putting on the burners. Turner with a 80-plus yard touchdown.
Yeah, kind of sat between the so Max Warner on the coverage there. Good pitch, good catch. Kind of a gap between him and Sheldon Williams, and touchdown Wildcats.
We got ourselves a game here. So yeah, there was just a couple maybe bad angles on that, and Turner, who what I've seen on film is him making a lot of screen pass and turn it upfield. There he had a good spot, and you can see Phillips is really looking to exploit that zone defense, the back end of the zone for the Dolphins. So now comes a big point. They've got a good kicker as well. Yeah. Hammers it, hit a car in the parking lot.
That probably messed up someone's tailgate out there.
Yeah, it is. Ezekiel Atacola. Yeah, I saw him. He was, I think, perfect in extra points in that Johnson game. And perfect tonight, tying up the game 7-7, 3:04 left here in the first quarter. I'm sure Coach O.D. is going to have a conversation with some of his defensive backs right there. So again, you can see Phillips trying to exploit that zone, run some guys deep, but then find those soft spots in the zone. Just have some guys sit down. Lee looked good on his first completion, and that's his second completion. So Lee, I believe, 2 for 2 today, already close to 100 yards passing, right? Because that one was 20. That was 80, and the completion that Scottmere got the fumble on was also about that. So say Lee's over 100 yards already after having the ball 2 times. 7-7 here, 3:04 left. And
it's turning into a track meet here at Gateway Stadium.
Atacola will tee it up.
Dolphin kickoff return team includes Devander Shoemaker, 14. The Dinger, 20.
The Dolphins of Whitney Young await the kick.
Fox and Warner again deep. Warner to the far side. Fox closest to us. Fox getting some action tonight. Sophomore, 5'11". Nope. Yep, sophomore, 5'6", 150. I think he's bigger than that. We're going to get to see him here.
See.
Here's Fox fielding the ball at the 10, heading upfield.
Speed.
He's got a seam. Runs into a guy, keeps his feet. He's at the 40. He's at the 50. There's the kicker, going to drag him down across the 40-yard line into Wildcat territory. Excellent return by Denico Fox.
By number 18 of the Dolphins.
Fox again, just getting that action tonight because the Ninja is out with a foot injury. Gets it all the way up there. I mean, if you don't have their kicker, Ezekiel Atacola at 5'10", 180, chasing him down, I think he's also bigger than that. But great job to start with. I think we're going to get another sideline warning on Phillips. That's their second. I don't think you're supposed to get more.
I think that's on us, Barry. The ref right in front of us.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't want to get Coach Finger kicked out of the game again.
No, we do not need him in the parking lot at Gately. All right, so big kickoff return by Fox. Has the ball into Wildcats territory at the 37-yard line. Conrad, the quarterback, he's got Warner to his right. Warner trying to get free, but tackled out there. Immediately, he had some room to rumble if he could make his way around Charles Ramsey. Again, Ramsey listed as a freshman, a sack and a forced fumble versus Johnson that I saw, and he's a big dude. They've got some size on that defensive line, size and athleticism. So that is a loss of 1. Second down and 11. Williams and DuRoss, the receivers closest to us. Bardsma to the top. 2 running backs in. Conrad going to look over there. Almost picked off again. He was looking for Maxwell Warner. But Sire Kaiser, who had 2 tackles for loss and a sack versus Johnson, he's coming off the edge, and I think he was sort of hidden and made a break on that ball. That was almost a pick 6. I'm not sure Von Conrad would have been able to track him down there.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think they've scouted our screens well, so we can
the ball has been put in harm's way a couple times tonight by VK5. Third down.
UN Security Force still sporting 56.
56
Ben Miller at right
with the
tackle.
36. Conrad barking signals. Good protection. Going to go deep again. Looking for Sheldon Williams, but he's going to overthrow everyone down the sideline. So now we'll have to see. I mean, the ball is in Wildcat territory after that good first down play. This is a long 4th down to try to convert here, but I think the offense is going to stay on the field. Williams.
I don't know
back
who
to
our
the
punter would be. Would that be
that's
Yoni as well?
Probably. We'll have to see. I mean, we've only punted twice all year.
Miles
which is
Barsna,
kinda
number
crazy.
2, is a great kicker, but doesn't want to kick. He thinks it's not cool. He thinks kicking is not cool.
I don't know.
Come on,
Chicks
Miles.
love the kickers.
They do. They do like that. Yeah.
All right, big 4th down play. There's Scottmere in motion. There's Conrad rolling to his left. He's looking. He's trying to evade. Now he's coming back. He's got some room. Vaughn. He's got Miller out in front of him on the block.
First down.
First down. Across the 20-yard line.
We're gonna have.
They're going to be a flag all the way back here. Yep, it's going to be against the Dolphins. So that play is going to come back.
Personal foul?
I think it was a chop block, maybe. Maybe I think somebody got somebody down low after Conrad reversed field.
I saw a little extracurricular back there. Didn't see what happened. That's too bad on a 4th down.
Yeah, it was a big-time conversion. I mean, Vaughn was looking for Rayton Scottmere. It's Scottmere and Bardsma running a 2-level route to the left-hand side. He did a good job. Nothing going on there. Oh, okay. So they. All right. So I think we had 2 fouls. So there was a offsetting penalty. So they're going to go repeat the 4th down.
We had a defensive holding, I think. So let's just do it. Let's do it again, VK5.
Yep. Do it again. Coach Boucher, go to the next page in the playbook, or just use that one again. And it was Conrad on his horse getting that first down. So 3 receivers to the top. DuRoss, Scottmere, Williams. Big play Bardsma on his own, but double coverage on the bottom. There's a pass trying to through triple coverage. And Scottmere not able to come down with it. So good coverage on the back end.
Well, we have, unfortunately, Vaughn was hit after the play.
All right, I'm always down there looking at where that ball ends up. But there's it was holding. Holding against Whitney Young. So declined, and the Wildcats are going to take over. 1:30 left here in the first quarter.
What's wrong about that? Vaughn took quite a shot.
All right, so we got downs. So the Dolphins have turned it over on an interception, scored the touchdown, and now downs after that big kickoff returned by Fox.
It's quite an eventful first quarter, Barry.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Woo. I mean, why not? Let's have some fun here tonight. Chicago Public League action. We'll get into a little bit more of where the standings are. It's a little early to start peeking at those things, but kind of fun as well. Lee, the quarterback. Lee to his right. Delivers the pass, again, that was Nicoach Duhart Jr., wide receiver. Did a nice job of spinning off the initial tackle and gets a first down at the 48-yard line. I'll call it the 49, so 49-yard line. So Cordell Lee operating it back at quarterback, and he's been precise so far tonight. He's got a big offensive line. Coach Finger talked a lot about that. They know number 72 Deontay Clemens well. He is a good friend of Juan Cepeda's. Talked to the Cepeda family earlier. Inside give to 82. Strung out nicely. Joseph Gray, football player, taking care of business. Then a flag comes in at the end as well. A lot of laundry already flying around on the field.
Don't like that.
So tried to get that jet sweep, which they run jet sweeps. They run a lot of wide receiver screens. We've seen them push it downfield a little bit more tonight. Looked like a block in the back, I think, was the signal. I'm guessing that even though it was a tackle for loss, Coach Finger might back them up. Coach Finger asking for the math on this right now. So either would be, take it back. Going to be first down again, but they're going to back it up 10 yards.
Bringing them back.
All right, so Phillips definitely working the air right now. A lot of passes. They haven't been able to get a lot going on the ground right now. Also, like Phillips just signaling in plays. Everybody's going to their wristbands. Fox, he's got Hall next to him in the backfield. Actually, he doesn't. He's got Cameron Mosley next to him in the backfield.
Yeah, press coverage by Max on the outside now.
Yep. There's the give to Mosley.
Nothing.
Woo! Hammered down. Logan Lopez again.
Double O.
And the truth over there.
Penalty flags on the play.
And some extracurriculars were going on with the wide receiver on that side and Bardsma. We'll see if any of that is going to result in a call. So laundry flying.
Every play?
Just about every play.
Yeah, they probably, the receiver for Phillips probably said, "Hey, Miles, I think you're a kicker," and that you shouldn't
really
say that to him.
Yeah.
Formation.
Wasn't anything that fun.
Okay.
Illegal formation.
Foul
Oh.
on the defense.
So I don't know. It sounds like we have another. They're just every time there's a penalty, they're just going to
There's
they're going to
several.
call another
2 penalties.
So I think
on
they.
each play?
I think they called. We'll see. So it was an illegal formation on Phillips, but then I think there was a unnecessary roughness or unsportsmanlike conduct penalty
Those
on
penalties all set.
the Dolphins. They're just going to offset them, and we're going to play it again. So
Are we first?
penalty
first
marred
down?
first
Like,
quarter here. 23 seconds left.
This will be
7-7 game.
The 9th first down of this series.
Exactly. Camonte Irving working in the slot for Phillips. Lee, the quarterback. Inside give, gets a little angle, but Joseph
Nice.
Gray, football player, taking care of business.
Collision.
I'm not sure why Amin Robinson was excited about picking up a handful of yards and then getting hammered there. If he felt he delivered the blow, I'm not quite sure. But it was a good football play either way. That's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. And we're going to have the teams switch sides here.
Well, some big plays in that.
Yeah,
in that first quarter.
absolutely. Action-packed. Interception by Phillips on that first drive. I think that was Michael Duncan on that interception. Then Scott Muir caused the fumble. Then Conrad, after the long pass to Scott Muir, Conrad goes in for 1 yard out, which we're still waiting for the official touchdown call on that. And then the pass, the 80-yard completion to Turner, put Phillips on the board.
Turner's
making
with the
it
burners.
7-7. Yep, he put the burners on. And then Whitney Young out on downs the last time. So Phillips struggling a little bit here based on some penalties, but they're still close to midfield. Coach Finger just confirming with the referees what down we got going on. It has cooled off a little bit here. I mean, I think that there was earlier in the day, if you were out and about, definitely thinking that the pickle juice was going to need to be busted out. And I mean, this is a game, so we might see some of that come into play, even though it's cooled down a bit. It's still for October. You gave the weather report earlier. It's still pretty warm out here.
No, I'm glad our dew point is still in the 60s. So knowing the Dolphins, we're going to have about 94 guys cramp up in the third and fourth quarter.
Well, that's Coach Finger talked about that just coming off of that Morgan Park game. Just and it's tough. It's tough. It's like this is still a high school program. It's not like you've got your guys out there like an NFL team or NCAA. Actually, NFL guys, they're not allowed to really practice anymore. The collective bargaining agreement doesn't allow them to practice. Well, on that Thursday night football game, Mac Jones was cramping up, and Herb Street was talking about that and about how, like, once that starts, it's tough. It's like when you maybe if you have halftime to go in and get an IV or something.
That was
helps
tough.
out.
I thought that it looked like an Achilles there for a minute, so I'm glad it was lack of pickle juice.
Yep,
Mac
and that's at the end of the day, that's what you got to do. I mean, they were saying he was pounding the electrolytes. That's just code for pounding the pickle juice. We're just going to leave that one alone.
We now, in typical Gately, the scoreboard went out.
Yeah, scoreboard is out, so we'll just be we're the official scoreboard now. Oh man, this is always dangerous. Oh, we're gonna keep the clock on the field. We'll see.
malfunction.
We'll see if they want to try to get this fixed before.
If a slight malfunction is the entire scoreboard going out, I'd like to see a major malfunction.
Well, at least the lights are still on.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe
The
it's a
lights are
White
still
Sox.
on.
The scoreboard's going to blow up.
Yeah, we could have some fireworks here. There were some fireworks here. We'll get to that at halftime. There were fireworks here last Saturday, Kenwood-Simeon game. So the teams are going to come back to the numbers right now, and I think they're going to work on maybe a reboot on the scoreboard. But I had it saved for halftime, but why not just go into it right now and start talking Chicago Public League. And so we had talked about on our broadcast that the big game was for the Metro Division was going to be that Kenwood-Simeon game, which was down here last Saturday afternoon. And Kenwood came out with a 28-20 win. So both of those teams had come in the Chicago Public League undefeated. Kenwood now goes to 3-0 in the Metro, 4-1 overall. Their only loss was that first game of the year right here at Gately to St. Francis. So St. Francis, a top 25 Chicagoland team. Kenwood that really getting some big-time production out of Keontae Lewis, their quarterback, who actually was suspended for the first quarter. He was suspended, wasn't on the field in the first quarter, but still ended the day at 11 of 19 for 233 yards and 2 touchdowns. Keontae Lewis, definitely the transfer coming in there and really solidifying things at quarterback as a junior. He's got a Kent State offer. I think we're going to get back underway here. All right, so I think we have a scoreboard is not working.
The Golden Flash is Kent State. Maction.
Yep, Maction, all right. Looks like we're going to get Phillips drew the Dolphins offsides there. Rayton Scottmere was coming up the blitz up the middle. He wasn't the only one. I think there were 2 other Dolphins that jumped as well. So Phillips talking. Ivan Simmons, head coach over there, said, "Hey, these guys are going to want to come out and get after you. Let's go on 2." And that worked.
That worked quite well.
It'll be second and 11.
So they get some of that penalty yardage back. And now it looks like Lee is going to take a timeout because we didn't have enough time. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. He walked to the sideline. Maybe he was just looking for a play call. I think he was asking for a play call. So no timeout there. 2nd down and 9. Ball resting at the 50-yard line. Lee, the quarterback, we've seen him hook up with Turner on a long touchdown already. Rotating his wide receivers. He's got 3 to the top. They might have to take a timeout here. This is taking a long time. They don't know what they're doing on that side right now. Let's see if Lee puts it all together, though. He's got Hall next to him in the backfield. There's the give to Hall, trying to get to the outside, but not going to do it. The truth, hanging on, taking care of business. Scottmere comes and cleans it up, but that was outside contain as an outside linebacker. That's your job. Hold the edge. And the truth, Josiah Purnell held the edge and gets the tackle for loss on that inside or that run by Hall. So that's going to bring up 3rd down.
3rd and long for the Wildcats.
3rd and 10. Looks like Cameron Mosley checking back out for Phillips right now.
Scoreboard's coming on kind of bit by bit. Hopefully
so we've got the score. We just don't have time right now, but we know that we're early in the 2nd quarter here at Gately. Ezekiel Williams, receiver to the top. 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Everybody's looking at their wristbands trying to figure out what we got going on here. Lee looking around, making sure his guys are going. There's a conversation going on between the receivers over here. We'll see what they do. Lee going back. He's going to look left. He's going to look down the middle.
Nice
Good job.
play.
DuRoss made a nice closing on that. Camonte Irving had, again, that soft spot in the zone, and Lee had it fired up, man. He's got some velo on that arm. That was a nice pass from Cordell Lee.
Nice job by 7. Bennett DuRoss to break that up.
Yep, DuRoss coming up from his safety position. DuRoss now going to be deep to receive this punt. Ezekiel Adekola is not the punter.
Dolphins punt team. We don't see the Dolphins punt team that often. Punt return team.
So DuRoss lined up at the 20, trying to get the kicker number for Phillips, but I can't quite see who it is. We'll try to get him for his family. Number 9 goes high. Good snap. Oh, I think if we would have laid out for that, that would have been a punt block. But instead, really gets a nice punt all the way downside into the 10-yard line. Let me try to get that punter. That was a nice, drilled it. And again, I think the Dolphins pulled up a little bit on that. Looked like they had good penetration. Dolphins will take over deep in their own territory. 7-7. Now the scoreboard went back out again.
I was just going to say the scoreboard is back, and then it's not back.
We know the score. 7-7. Scott Meir, receiver. Those guys are heading to the top side. Scott Meir and Williams. Bardsma has got single coverage. He's got Rashard Jordan over the top of him, closest to us, to Conrad's left. Maxwell Warner in the backfield. Warner trying to get free here. Warner working his way. Vision
nice
working
Max.
his way. Good job. Pick up the middle. Couple little jump cuts in there for Maxwell Warner. Pickup of 4.
Yeah, as we pointed out throughout the season, Max's vision has really improved. So he nothing was there, and he picked up 5 yards.
Yep. Again, he came in 510 yards on the season, 9 touchdowns, averaging 9.8 yards per carry. Again, he's hit some big home run runs. We'll see if he can get freed up for one of those in this tight game right now. Conrad, the quarterback. Warner to his left. That's Scott Meir in motion. There's the give to Warner. He gets to the outside. Warner the corner to the cutback. Across the 30 up to the 35-yard line. Nice job by Max. Following his blockers out there. Brought down by Roderick Johnson Jr. First down.
Nice job by Max. Tough starting field position. And we're going to flip the field on him.
Logan Jones, MJ Woods working that left-hand or right-hand side of the line. Actually, they're working the left. That was Ben Miller and the Dragon Warrior working the right-hand side. Conrad with Joseph Gray next to him. Conrad going quickly, hooks up over there.
Miles.
Big play, Bardsma out of bounds close to the first down marker. That's where this team has really excelled this year. And if we have a chance to look at stats, there's been a really good balance between the running and passing game, both in yardage and the number of plays. So it's really balanced. But a lot of those things where we've seen Conrad, well, we saw the big ball down to Scott Meir tonight, but the meat and potatoes have been those quick hitters that he has been able to deliver to Scott Meir, Bardsma, DuRoss, and others. Now Conrad busts out the little hard count made famous by Aaron Rodgers, although Von Conrad never watched a game that Aaron Rodgers played unless it was against the Bears. Aaron Rodgers, owner of the Bears.
Probably true. And as they say in Belgium, turnabout is fair play.
Do they say that in Belgium?
They sure do. People don't know. That's where there's some Conrad ancestors are from there. Because of the beer.
Of course. Okay, that first down on the penalty. 2 receivers to the top. That's Scott Meir in motion. So 3 receivers left for Conrad. Conrad with a keeper. He gets swallowed up. No gain on the play. Good tackle there. That was number 79. Again, that freshman, Charles Ramsey, making that play from his D-line position. They also definitely have some size and athleticism. Kevin Johnson, number 1. He had a big sack against Lincoln Park and also sack and forced fumble versus Johnson. He's 6'3", 240, so he's number 1. He's the edge on this side. So 4-man front. 2 safety look usually, although they're in single high right now. 3 receivers. Scott Meir going to the right. Warner in the backfield. Flip over to Bardsma.
Nice.
Bardsma making a move, trying to get upfield. picks up a couple before Sire Kaiser
Conrad is completed
is able to make the tackle.
to Barsma.
Yeah, nice connection. Nice to see that's back. The first couple of years, or first couple of weeks of the season, that 5-2 combo wasn't as clicking as much, and now it's back.
Yep, definitely back. Barsma and Scottmere both came in with 14 catches each. So Barsma, 14 catches, 234 yards, and 3 touchdowns coming into today's game. So the clock is working now. So 6:40 left here in the second quarter, 7-7. Dolphins into Wildcat territory with a big third down play here. Inside, give to Maxwell Warner.
Go Max.
Good blocking out there. Warner to the corner.
Warner gets the corner. Great run.
Pushes a guy down, hurdles him across the 30-yard line. Finally wrestled out by Brian Jackson, but nice run. Good blocking over on that left-hand side of the line. Logan Jones, MJ Woods, Big Country Alex Oshesky getting the job done. Conrad going to go right up to the line, going to run a little tempo here, see if they can get Phillips back on their heels a bit. Scottmere Barsma, receivers closest to us. That's where Conrad's looking. Double move
to Miles.
Barsma with a step. Oh, good job at the end of that play. Barsma is down. That was a Rashard Jordan did a nice job. I think he maybe on the hit kind of got up high on Miles Barsma. So Barsma is down. It was a good ball. Double move by Barsma. Conrad hung it up there. But I think Jordan, who wasn't able to track the ball, but was kind of tracking what Barsma was doing on extending himself, and I think probably got a little high on that tackle.
Yeah, good. He had it for a second, and the defense was right there.
Yep, that's just one of those plays. So training staff out there to take a look. Phillips trainer also coming out. Barsma back up. A little water. Rinse out the.
Good to see him back. I thought we had a collarbone there for a second. The way he landed. I hope that's not it.
Yeah, I don't know. We probably shouldn't speculate.
No,
because
we're not allowed to.
We're not medical professionals
No,
here.
we're not.
But seems like he's fine. Just got Sam the trainer there. He's just shaking the head around a little bit. I think that's what it was. It was a little shot to the upper extremities. Conrad, second down and long. Give to Warner. Warner hits it. Hits it hard.
He
all the way down to the 10-yard line.
I believe Max Warner would run track here at Gately, this beautiful track facility. So he's feeling it. He's had some good performances here over the years.
That was great, man. He just worked that A gap and hit it. Barsma back in. Harlan Cooper
nice
was
to see
actually
Miles
in that
back.
last time. Yeah, so he's back in. Dolphins threatening here. Ball just outside the 10-yard line, so they could get a first down at about the 1. Referees, Phillips taking a timeout.
Yeah, but I probably shouldn't be imagining these injuries in my head. I just have 3 boys that when they go down, I figure they broke something. So I'm glad to see Miles is back.
You might be a little tougher than your kids. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No.
When it comes to cramping, I sure am.
All right. Fun game so far here. South side of Chicago. Gately. Phillips. Again, I think the Dolphin faithful, because it's been so long, 21 years, we're thinking, Coach Finger couldn't even remember a time. And we were talking about if it was 21 years ago, Coach Finger was like in middle school at the time.
Yeah, Coach Dan Finger would have been maybe the flag football 5th grade quarterback.
Do you think they called him coach even back then?
I bet he was the coach.
I bet he was coaching. He was on the field.
Yeah, even in Pee Wee football for Pulaski Elementary.
Daniel Finger. Again, he played at Whitney Young alum, and then played at Hamilton College. I think he was a wide receiver, defensive back. Here, I think he played a little bit of quarterback, but then moved to wide receiver, and then in college played defensive back.
Did he also star in the musical production of Hamilton in college?
Absolutely. DeRoss in motion. Give to Warner.
Max.
Warner following some blockers. Warner working his way inside the 5-yard line. That was a nice piece of running.
Boy, Max came to play tonight.
Tackled there by
Dolphins need
Amin
it.
Robinson. We've called his name a bunch of times already tonight. So, yeah, just, again, we talk about his vision and his patience. So that was just a patient run, waiting for his. And, again, the Phillips D-line is big. They've got some size up there, probably outweighing us, I would guess. We've got some good size on that UN security force with Paracchini, Oshesky, MJ Woods as your middle of that line. Let's see if we just keep working Warner down here. Conrad going to fire it over off the reach of Bennett DeRoss. And then a flag down late. We'll see what was going on. A little extracurriculars. We had gone at least 3-4 minutes of game time without a penalty. That flag was in the back of the end zone. I think maybe a little chicanery after the play.
A little chirping.
Sometimes you get those, and again, we shouldn't speculate on this. Dead ball foul on the defense. So that is going to be a half the distance to the goal. I wonder if that's probably also a first down. I'm not sure how that works on a goal-to-go situation. It would be third down, but it was a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the defense. So maybe a replay of second down. Scoreboard showing second down, so maybe we say that.
I think they're throwing the chains down. Maybe it's a first.
All right, well, we'll make this up as we go. Chains, they're saying, yeah, now they've got first down. So
first
that makes
and
sense.
goal in honor of Nate Diaz. Great chain gang
Nate.
member.
Yep. 3 receivers. We're trying to figure out what's going on here. I think now the side judge is coming in. He might have something to say. Nobody's moving real fast. Clock is stopped here. 4:55 left in the first half. 7-7 tie. Von Conrad with the rushing touchdown to put the Dolphins on the board earlier. He's got Warner behind him. Conrad rolling to his right, looking, throwing across, touchdown! That was Scott Meir. Riz God working his way across the back of the end zone, and Conrad was patient, rolled the pocket, and connects with the Riz God, Rayton Scott Meir, putting the Dolphins up.
Great drive, 91-yard drive.
Hey, absolutely. All right, Luze on for the extra point. Good snap, good hold, good kick. Woo. There you got it.
Nice. Big difference. Yeah, hopefully the Ninja can come back healthy. Last week we did not make any extra points, and already tonight we have 2.
So you're right, man. 91-yard drive after the nice punt. All right, so down there and a couple penalties, but then just some good work. I mean, Warner with a couple big runs, a couple good completions to Bardsma, and then Scott Meir, who had 2 touchdown receptions last week, and that's his 5th on the season, team-leading 5th touchdown.
And we are going to have Miles on the kicking this ball off.
Okay. I do think it was Luze that kicked off the first time.
I wasn't tracking it as I should have, but it's good to see Miles out there kicking a ball.
It's cool, Miles. It's cool to kick.
Yeah. So we have Brian Pantoja here, 42. Kendall Lynham on the kickoff coverage, the dinger, 20. Double L, Logan Lopez. Number 4, Jacob Wildermuth. Let's have another good coverage here, Dolphins.
Yep, Cameron Mosley back, number 26, number 6. I do not have on my program, so we'll hope it goes to Mosley so I can at least call out a name and not just a number. Bardsma going to kick it away.
Wow.
Line drive kick. Nice job. Fielded by Mosley inside the 10-yard line. Good pursuit, but Mosley, good run back. Gets across the 30-yard line. Lynham in on the tackle. Wildermuth in on the tackle. And I think Bardsma eventually in on the tackle. It was actually Logan Lopez in on the tackle. So good return by Mosley. 4:37. We've seen Cordell Lee, the quarterback for the Wildcats, be able to hook up with some of his receivers, finding some soft spots in the Dolphins zone. And he's also had the long touchdown to Taylor earlier. Two receivers to the top for Lee. Two to the bottom. Looks like Hall in the backfield with him. Logan Jones on the nose. Receiver in motion. There's the inside give. Dylan Paracchini taking care of things to start with. Dragon Warrior taking care of it.
Dragon Warrior, 72.
MJ Woods in there as well.
So
couple yard gain, though. Call it 5. Gain of 5 on that.
Some subs here. 20,
for Hall.
26 Nevin Hinkle in the game.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things, too. Just trying to get, one, reps for some of these guys, but also just make sure on a fairly warm night that that you got guys, especially guys that are playing both ways. So I think you've got Lynham in the game in place of Warner right now. Gray and Scottmere inside backers going at it. Actually, Del Villar is the
54
end on that side.
End.
There's the give to Hall.
Nice.
Scottmere.
The Riz God.
Riz God. Tackle for loss. Loss of 1 on that, and the Phillips, one of the Phillips players, I think the running back on that play, is down.
Hops right back
Scottmere
up.
just reading it from that linebacker position, and comes up, hits the burners, and makes the tackle. Loss of a couple on that play. So Phillips, let's see, did they take a timeout?
I
The
don't
team
think
ran
so.
over there, so I'm not sure if there was because they called it in. Okay, so the officials are blowing the play in right now. They had done a little muddle huddle on the sideline over there. Coach Simmons told them what he wanted them to do. Mosley in the backfield next to Cordell Lee. 2 receivers top, 2 to the bottom. There's Lee back to pass, rolling to his left. There's Joseph Gray. He gets inside of him, but there's Scottmere. Ball comes out. Ball comes out. There's a flag down on the play. Scottmere again causing the second fumble. I think he came back and got on that. So Dolphins recover, I think, but we'll have to see. The flag came down. Dolphin ball. I think what the official meant to do is throw the beanbag, and he threw the flag instead. So Joseph Gray forced the play inside. Scottmere with his second forced fumble of the night. Dude's got a touchdown catch, got a 60-yard, 70-yard catch. Rayton Scottmere, there's a reason they call him the Riz God.
Riz God. If he's on your fantasy team, you look and it's like he has 35 points in the first half. You want him.
Great play. I'm just going to write Scottmere everywhere on my sheet right now. Scottmere in motion. He's in the slot. Conrad looks to his right. That's Bardsma out there. Bardsma shakes a tackle. Bardsma shakes another tackle. Gets out to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Miles, when he catches the ball, he's so elusive, so quick with his feet.
Little shimmy shake out there by Miles Bardsma, former lacrosse guy. You got to do that, right? What are those moves in lacrosse? I don't know anything about lacrosse other than, you can hit people. Which
I think you can't hit people with a stick.
Yeah, you could. They're always like just trying to.
That's the
whatever.
Outside of that, I don't think anyone really knows the rules.
It's a fun game though.
Other than
just the fact that you
kids
can hit
run
people
around a lot.
Yep. First down. Conrad, quarterback. Warner to his left. Conrad back to pass with some time, throwing it deep and out of play. is looking for Scottmere over there.
Yeah, he stopped his route, so that could have been a worse outcome.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the ball got away from Vaughn a little bit there. So it's Scottmere and Bardsma. You see them trying to work that two-level pattern a couple times already tonight. 2:28 left. Dolphins with a 7-point lead. Been a bit of a battle here. We've seen teams flying up and down the field, that's for sure. We have, I'll have to count it up, I think 3 turnovers already in the game. 3 or 4, right? Low snap. Warner.
Max.
Cutting back. Wrestled down. Warner picks up a few on that. Handful, but brought down by, I think that was Amin Robinson. Yeah, Robinson coming up from that strong safety spot. A third down. And Coach Finger, no need to call any timeouts here. He's got all 3 of his left. And again, with Sean Miller out tonight, this would be out of anybody. Well, it wouldn't be outside of Solomon Bradley's range.
Maybe Nando.
Nando, we're here at Gately, so maybe not.
We're exercising his ghost tonight, Nando.
Yes. Reverse, Scottmere turning upfield. He's got blockers. Working off of that first down, out of bounds. Good block downfield by DeRoss. So you heard the Phillips sideline yelling reverse, but had most of the guys on the field flowing to the right-hand side. Their eyes on Maxwell Warner and Scottmere. Why not?
Oh.
Rizgod works his way.
Up some rushing
again,
yards
nice
too,
downfield block by Bennett DeRoss for that first down. Clock stops at 1:27 left. Dolphins at the 15-yard line, deep in Phillips territory. Bardsma and Scottmere to the top. Williams and DeRoss to the left. Maxwell Warner in the backfield. Warner looking for a pass. Warner's got a pass. Warner, elusive, picks up about 7. Ushered out of bounds by Rashard Jordan. Jordan did a nice job out there, actually. You're facing a SEC running back in space, and he did a good job of holding his ground and getting Maxwell Warner out of bounds.
Yeah, you see
after a gain of 7.
The variety of effective plays as the season evolves is impressive by Coach Eddie and the team.
Yep, they've been able to dial up that little swing pass to the running back a few times for some big gainers.
I'd stay away from the screen passes the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's been dangerous in this part of the field. Conrad give to Warner. Warner, big hole off the left-hand side.
Gets the corner.
The chosen one. Touchdown. You can just see that hole developing from this side. Max saw it as well. Good blocking by that right-hand side of the line. Ben Miller over there at right tackle.
56, our swing lineman.
Alex Oshesky out there leading the play. Maxwell Warner to the corner. The chosen one with a touchdown. That's Warner's 21st career touchdown, his 10th of the year.
I think Phillips taking a timeout here on the extra point, curiously.
They might want to just catch their breath a little bit here, I guess. So Scottmere, again, recovers the fumble, and then Maxwell Warner on the touchdown run after the big third down pickup by Scottmere. Trying to write all this stuff down. I can't even read my handwriting. I have no idea.
You nailed it.
Just make it up as we go. But good response by the Dolphins here. Again, they had some opportunities. They were inside the 10 on their first drive, but a good interception that was returned. Again, Vaughn Conrad, you look at some of the key plays, Conrad getting that tackle was big because then they were able to get the ball back after the forced fumble by Scottmere.
Dolphin extra point team includes 64 Aiden Fusi, 67 Max Tunk, providing some interior blocking.
High snap.
Ooh.
Luce hammers it home, though. That's give that extra credit to Vaughn Conrad as the holder there. That snap came in hot and high. Conrad, who Coach Finger has said is probably the best holder in the city, was able to get that down. Luce hammered it home. Dolphins up 21-7 with 1:11 left here in the first half.
I'm going to ask that the photographer that was just in the south end zone, please turn the flash off.
So Dolphin kickoff team includes 31 Jameer Spencer, 8 Brian Pantoya, a 26 Nevin Hinkle. Very consistent coverage all year.
Well, they've covered quite a few kicks.
It's a good team to be on. There's a lot of action.
Yeah. I mean, the Dolphins have put some points on the board. They're doing it again tonight. Bardsma out there for the kickoff duties. That's kind of like an advanced sort of thing, you know. It's like the pros sometimes. The colleges definitely always have just a guy that's doing kickoff duties.
If he kicks it like he did the last one, I think Coach Finger's going to make him do the kickoff.
Mosley is in the center of the field at the 10-yard line, and that was a nice kick last time by Bardsma, which Mosley actually did a nice job. Got it all the way close to the 40-yard line. Teed up, Bardsma, hop, skip, and a jump. Ball on the ground, fielded not well by the up back, and he's got to go down smartly at the 23-yard line. That was one of those things where it was coming in hot. Stephen Lacey got his hands on it, but wasn't able to keep his feet. So Dolphins going to go on D. Cordell Lee is coming out at quarterback. And we've seen a lot of Wellington Hall at running back, Jamillion Howard as well as Mosley. Some nice completions again. Michael Turner, the junior wide receiver, has the touchdown pass, 80-yard reception for Phillips earlier in this game. Lee waiting for the snap. Looks like he's got Hall next to him. He's got 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Warner backs off on that receiver, trying to go with the quarterback run, and whistles blown right off the bat.
Lee is down in the backfield.
Oh, his knee went down. Right, so he slipped. Dew point. We got dew point kind of factoring in here?
We kind of do. We're 61.
We're still not 61 on the temperature as far as they've explained dew point to me. So now the clock is running. Phillips is going to have to rush unless they have timeouts if they want to take it, but they're pretty far in the back. So Coach Finger is actually saying, hey, I'm going to take a timeout here. We'll see. That, it's one of those plays backed up deep in Phillips territory. He's got 2 more in his pocket right now, Riverboat Dan Finger. So if Phillips has an incomplete pass, goes out of bounds, you could at least still force a punt here at the end of the first half. I think we have the Phillips band is here tonight.
It is, yeah. They were playing earlier, and they sounded great. So hopefully they do a little halftime show for us.
Good percussion section over there. I'm not sure if this is it's their home game, so you can bring a band. Doesn't need to be a homecoming or anything like that. Looks like they've got a good squad of cheerleaders over there, looking precise as always. We'll talk at halftime. There are some big games going on in the Chicagoland region right now. The game of the year right now, Brother Rice against Mount Carmel. We'll have to maybe see if we can find a score on that.
40 seconds remaining.
40 seconds. Going to be second down and long. Again, Lee's knee went down, so loss of about 7 on that play. They're going to give the handoff up the middle. MJ Woods.
The ball.
He did a good job of staying on his feet. Coach Finger runs out, does not slide into the referee, just takes a more conventional timeout. That dew point was in play that night.
It sure was.
Lane last year.
It was kind of slick.
Against Lane.
Yeah.
Coach Finger ran he was clocked at a 4.55.40 time that then tried to put on the Fred Flintstones. He flew right into the referee and getting his timeout called. which is one of those coaching highlights that he'll have with him the rest of his life.
Oh, he will. Not much eventful's happened at Gately. We had the old Rockney Field getting kicked out of the game. He's coaching from the woods. Always.
Well, I mean, what's notable here is the Chicago Public League Championship against Kenwood last year. So not notorious.
Okay,
things.
notorious. Just
notable, definitely.
Picked up some great winning.
Yep, picked up some hardware. We were just across the way, broadcasting from the home side last year. A little bit chillier, but Dolphins. If you don't remember, the Holders, big day that day for Luke Jolich. And actually, that offensive line, and that was a game that Nick Dale, All-State center, was out for. He got hurt in that Amundsen game. I was just thinking about that today. Like, Nick how he gutted through that Amundsen game. We've seen some gutty performances from the Dolphin players over the years, and that was right at the top of the list. So Lee, 3rd down and long. Phillips probably just wants to run this ball again, make the Dolphins, well, we'll see what they do here. Lee, back to pass. Whips it over, completed.
Clean tackle.
And Scott Muir again. Scott Muir headhunting for a 3rd fumble call. So I think Coach Finger takes his last timeout. I think that was maybe completed to Turner over there. So Phillips will have to punt it away. They had a nice punt last time, although I think this is where, again, Coach Finger playing chess. That should have been a blocked punt last time.
It should have been.
Right, and so with 26.2 seconds left and deep in Wildcat territory, you put that punt block on and you tell your guys, go after it, don't pull up. And if you end up with a penalty on it, so be it. I think the risk there is pretty low. So I don't know much, so I'm probably wrong on this, but I think that what Coach Finger is doing right now is he is dialing up that punt block.
We have the Dolphin punt block team on the field. 4, Jacob Lilderman, 54, Del Villar. 7, Duras will be back to field the punt. 14, Devonder Shoemaker in.
Shoemaker is a good special teamer.
Agent Zero inside.
Jameer Spencer also on that team. See if you can get somebody shooting off the edge here. Duras back at the 48-yard line. Phillips, punter, waiting. High snap. Gets it away. Duras probably just going to get out of the way of that. And clock is running. Ball is rolling. Rolling all the way down to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, it's worth Riverboat Dan with a shot. Took us 3 timeouts, and the Wildcats were able to punt it out of there.
Yep. So that's Ralph Jones. We missed him on the first time around, so finally got a chance to see his number 88, Ralph Jones, a senior, 6'3", 190. Had a really nice punt that took it all the way inside the 15, but the Dolphins were able to put together that 91-yard drive. I guess it was even inside the 10. Conrad, Dolphins out of timeouts here. Phillips is going to take one here. They had a chance to look at what the Dolphin offense was putting on the field. Again, with Sean Miller out, not sure you can get enough. You might just Conrad, put some air under it and see what you can put together here at the end of the first half. Again, 21-7. Been a game. I mean, a lot of big plays. Talked about the turnovers already, and Rayton Scottmere in on 2 of those, 2 forced fumbles that were really big, crucial plays. And then also the interception that Phillips was able to come up with. So Conrad got 3 receivers to the top.
18 seconds remaining here in the first
Maybe try to get somebody like Sheldon Williams on an out route. There's Scottmere in motion to the bottom. He's looking Scottmere's way. Scottmere lays out for it, but not quite able to come up with it. 15 seconds left, 2nd down. Getting that offensive line doing a good job. Big Country Olszewski again in at center. Coach Finger talked on the open about how how well he did last week. Just that center quarterback exchange had a huge difference in the game. Osheshki was on target all night, while the Lincoln Park center wasn't nearly as clean. Low snap there, just as you say it. But Rizgod, oh no, that's Bardsma. Bardsma able to haul it in. I think they said incomplete. It was in front of us. We couldn't quite see it. So that was going to Bardsma. 10 seconds left. Dolphins out of timeouts. Boucher giving the play to Conrad here. They're having it's quite a conversation. I think here maybe I don't know, at this point with 10 seconds left, maybe just a handoff. Or Riverboat Dan, he's going to press the issue. Might as well go back to, he's got Scottmere and Bardsma to the short side of the field down here. That's where he's looking. Now Conrad's going to run it. Conrad going to get out of bounds and hit out of bounds. Flag does not come out. 3 seconds left. It'll be fourth down.
Coach Finger doesn't like that, nor do any of the
fans. That was a way late. Anton Kennedy laid the lick on Conrad well inside the white on the sideline. Stephen Levy checking in at a linebacker position. I think Phillips kind of going into the prevent. Fourth down here, 3.2 seconds left. Conrad back to pass, trying to get it deep, throwing it deep to Scottmere. And that's intercepted. Intercepted by number 0, Sheldon Williams, trying to track him down. Scottmere going for the strip.
Nice.
Finally tackled out there by Bardsma. So nice. When you're the quarterback dad, you're always like, that interception at the end of the half that didn't mean anything. Rashard Jordan picked it off. So actually the second interception for Conrad, but we'll put a little asterisk next to that one.
That was potentially dangerous. It's nice to have receivers who are also good tacklers down there. Miles Bardsma. Halftime, Barry, and the scoreboard went out again.
All right, well, they're just conserving energy here. There's a new green policy. It's government shutdown. It's Chicago Public Schools. I think we got a couple $1 billion that were withheld from the city, so they're just trying to.
Yeah, this will save us $27.
All right, so I'm just writing this stuff down here. All right, well, let's talk halftime stuff here. I've got a few highlights that we can share. We'll talk a little Whitney Young sports, and we'll also talk about those Chicago Public League games and other football games going on around the Chicagoland area. So, to start out with, let's start for the first ever School of Champions. What does a School of Champions do when you're a Golfin' Dolphin? We already know that they have a city championship. They have a regional championship. So the Golfin' Dolphin, the girls team, you got some stuff there for us, buddy?
Yeah, this is
awesome. Cool. All right, we will get that in. All right, very good. Thanks. I'm going to go through this stuff, but thank you.
Nice.
We got some stats.
Does your dad train you on these? Yeah, that's good.
All right, so Golfin' Dolphins regional champs. They finished with a 345, beating Fenwick by 2 strokes and Oak Park River Forest by 4 out at Cog Hill. Again, first regional championship for a Chicago Public League team in history done by the Golfin' Dolphins. That's the first time Whitney Young has placed at regionals. Kennedy White got the honors for the day. She placed first out of 59 golfers with a 77, again at Cog Hill. That's no small matter. Nisha Chausawapa, freshman, placed third with an 80. Jasmine McGee shot a personal best 82. She placed fourth. So White at first, Chausapawa at third, and McGee at fourth. 3 of the 4 top finishers, Dolphins. Next up, sectionals coming for the Golfin' Dolphins. So lots more hardware coming our way to the School of Champions from the golf squad. Volleyball 12-game winning streak going on. So they actually another first ever. So first ever regional championship, first ever for volleyball tomorrow, first ever Chicago Public League game on TV. So I know that there are a couple things going on, maybe some Major League Baseball games that we could talk about, a few college football games. I might be heading up to the North Park versus Augustana D3 game to watch Jason Perez. But then I might go up to I think it's just maybe a 2.5, Division 2.5 game. That's the Northwestern Wildcats going against the University of Louisiana Monroe tomorrow at the lakefront. So I'm going to try to get both of those in.
The Warhawks.
But at 2 o'clock on the U from, I don't know where it's from, but it doesn't matter. It's a game, Whitney Young on air, volleyball team against Kenwood. So they've got a 12-game winning streak going on. City playoffs going to start in 2 weeks. You got Delilah Roman leading the way with 2.5 kills per game. Claire Golden, 2.3 kills per game. Again, on the U tomorrow, 2 p.m. Flag football, 16-4 overall, 7-0 in conference. They actually got bumped out of the city playoffs this week, but I think they'll have a state playoff game coming up here within the next week or two. So started talking about this a little bit ago. Chicagoland, call it the game of the year. Number 1 Mount Carmel going against number 2 Brother Rice. And, it's like I almost ran out of patience for writing down all of the D1 guys that are on both of these teams. So Mount Carmel, you got Braden Jones. He's an edge. He's going to USC. And he had offers everywhere. Ohio State, I think Notre Dame. Caleb the Bone Crusher Tucker, he is the top-rated sophomore at D-line. So he's got everybody. He's got, I think, 30, 40, 50, a billion offers. Anybody that has a football team has offered Caleb Tucker. Quentin Burrell, multiple Power 5 offers. He's the wide receiver. He's a 5-star over at Mount Carmel. He's a junior. Tavares Harrington, he's got a Notre Dame offer at defensive back. And this is where we're actually buried the lead a little bit on this Phillips team. Claude Puma is transferred from Phillips to Mount Carmel this year, and he's an offensive lineman. We'll talk more about Claude later. He's an amazing athlete, so he's on the field there. Joey Quinn, he's going to Vandy, where he'll join Jack Elliott, the quarterback from last year. And Emmett Dowling is the quarterback at Mount Carmel. He could quite honestly be the Chicagoland Player of the Year. His brother Blaney Dowling was a star there earlier. I think his dad played there as well. Then over at Brother Rice, we've talked about some of those guys. King Liggins heading to Illinois. Your guy C.J. Gray, the Army quarterback. I've just read about him until I saw some of their highlights over Loyola. Dude is a baller. I mean, he's mobile quarterback, got a cannon for an arm. Brother Rice, Braden Park on that D-line, he's a 4-star, and Cameron McGee, who's a sophomore edge, is a 5-star. So those teams are, see if you can Google it.
I have this, and this game is on ESPN, I understand, my buddy.
Are you serious?
On regular ESPN. So this is courtesy of Mike O'Brien. We are heading towards halftime. The Caravan up 20-7.
Wow.
20-7. Mount Carmel up on Brother Rice.
So they are able to put some points on the board against those teams. Another big game going on, Montini versus Carmel Catholic. This is one of those games a little maybe under the radar on this. Montini has really shown a lot. They're undefeated right now. They're ranked number 13 in the Chicagoland area. Carmel, so this is Carmel Catholic, which is up in Antioch, I think. They are 4-1. They're only lost to Providence. Carmel Catholic always flies under the radar, and they've really put together a nice program, putting a bunch of guys at D1, D2 schools. But the other thing that's notable in that game is that at Carmel Catholic, Trey Taylor is their quarterback. Dude has had Division I offers since I think he was a 4th grader. He's committed to go to Nebraska. And then Israel Adams from Montini. So both of these guys are juniors. Both of those guys top 75 recruits in the country. So those quarterbacks are going at it. Montini versus Carmel Catholic. Then a couple other notes, man. It's crazy. I think I was looking at Von Conrad's lifetime stats here, and again, he's been a starter both junior and senior year. Vaughn came in tonight with 20 career touchdown passes, 24 total. So let's see, he's got a rushing tonight and a touchdown pass. So give him 26 in his career, which I'll look back. I mean, guys like Pat McHale and Bennett Newman, I think that's about where they ended their careers as far as rushing and passing touchdowns. Well, Jonas Williams, who we talk a lot about down at Lincoln Way East, he started his career at Bolingbrook, started right away as a freshman, was a 4-star, 5-star guy right out of the bat. He had 2 touchdown passes last week against Naperville Central. Jonas Williams has 127 touchdown passes in his career from Lincoln Way East. And that's, again, playing against some really, really tough competition all the way.
They're good.
Again, Williams, I think I said Oregon. I think he flipped. He was Oregon, but now he's headed to USC right now. I mean, he's had some great receivers. He's got Kyan Barry Johnson, who's now playing at Wisconsin. Amarian Stewart, who we saw when he played at Kenwood, he started his career at Bolingbrook. He's at Washington. And then Blaine LaVista is the top receiver at Lincoln Way East right now. He's heading to Washington. So Jonas Williams, just wanted to mention that because I think he's just a couple touchdown passes away from having the all-time state record at the quarterback position. And then one other thing I wanted to mention in looking at some of these games, we went down to Bradley Bourbonnais last year and saw a really young team and saw the talent that they had on that field. They also are flying a little under the radar. They haven't cracked the top 25 in the Sun Times poll right now, but they go against Lincoln Way Central tonight. So Bradley Bourbonnais is undefeated. The Edmond brothers will look to carry them there. So Kyron Edmond is a sophomore. He's getting a lot of D1 looks. His brother is a senior wide receiver, Lizale Edmond. And again, that's head coach Mike Cole, who's put together such a great program down at Bradley Bourbonnais. We always like to see these teams that hand it to us. We like to see them do well as they continue progressing. So that's sort of the broader picture of things. I'm going to change the scoreboard to third quarter right now so I don't forget. Let's talk Chicago Public League. And again, we'll get more into this because playoffs will be lurking soon. After tonight, if my math is correct, we'll be 67% of the way
we're
done with the regular season. So we move into that final third. Well, right now, kind of a logjam. Because I got to say, the Chicago Public League is I'm not going to say haves and have-nots, but it's very top-loaded and bottom-loaded right now. And some of that's just the way the schedule works out. So undefeated right now in the Chicago Public League. And we'll get to some of these games. Peyton, undefeated. They came up with a huge upset of Lane last week. So Peyton, Kenwood, King, newcomer. They're still undefeated. Morgan Park. Peyton, Kenwood, King, Morgan Park, all at 3-0. King is actually at 4-0. They laid it a 50-0, a 50 burger on Brooks last night. So King's at 4-0. And then at 2-1 coming into tonight, Lane, Whitney Young, and Simeon. Also, if we just look at games, not much is going to change between this week and last week. This week and next week, I should say. Just because I think all the games that are scheduled, you got some pretty big favorites in all those games. So Bulls Prep at Lane. Lane's going to be the favorite there. Peyton versus Clark. Peyton a big favorite there. Kenwood at Taft. I mean, we'll talk more about Taft. Taft has just had a hard time getting things going this year. So I think Kenwood is a huge favorite there. LP at Morgan Park. I mean, Lincoln Park looked very athletic last night against us, but Morgan Park, they're until somebody can beat them, you got to say that they're the cream of the Chicago Public League. Probably the toughest game on that schedule is Simeon versus Amundsen, but still I think Simeon is the favorite there. So I think you kind of roll into next week really looking at the same sort of thing. You're going to have Peyton, Kenwood, King, Morgan Park undefeated, Lane, Whitney Young, and I mean I don't want to assume a victory here because Phillips has definitely looked good, but Whitney Young with a lead right now. Those teams could all move in at 3-1. Started talking about that Kenwood and Simeon game. In addition to Keontae Lewis having a huge game, Lawrence Carr, junior wide receiver and kick returner for Kenwood, he had 3 touchdowns, a 60-yarder and an 82-yarder, and finished with 5 catches for 197. He also had an 80-yard kickoff return touchdown at the end of the first half. That's Lawrence Carr Jr. He's got a Maryland offer. I'm sure he's going to have a few more after a game like that. Simeon lost the game 2-3 overall, 2-1 in the Metro, as I said, led by their quarterback Crooms. He was 14-25 with 2 touchdowns and a pick. So the big upset from last week was Peyton over Lane. I don't think any of us were expecting that. Peyton undefeated. That final score 16-13. Peyton's got themselves a field goal kicker. I kind of weeded through some of the stats and some of the things. This is what I could gather. Peyton only had 117 yards in that game, and they only had 87 yards in their game against Taft, but they won both of those games. Against Lane, Lane threw 2 interceptions, and Peyton picked off 2 passes, and they were able to return a fumble for a touchdown, and then game-winning field goals, both Lane and that Taft game. So they're 5-0 overall, Peyton is 3-0 in the Chicago Public League. They faced Clark, although Peyton still has Kenwood, King, and Westinghouse. So they've got 2 of those undefeated teams they will face in 2 of the 3 final games of the year. Lane moves to 4-1 overall, 2-1. They had 312 yards in that game, including 235 yards on the ground, but couldn't come up with a win. Vernon Cole continues to pile up the yardage for Lane. He's at 738 yards and 10 touchdowns on the year, averaging over 11 yards per carry.
Wasn't a pundit saying that Lane was going undefeated and they were going to be the class of the CPL?
A certain pundit. I don't know if he said the class of the CPL. I think he qualified it by the fact that they weren't going to play Kenwood, Morgan Park, or Simeon, of which I added to that pundit that they also weren't paying. That's where I was. That's where I got irked.
Obvious.
But so Lane has a less challenging schedule against sort of the traditional South Side powers. So they could run the table the rest of the way, but they've got the 1 loss. King, so as much as the Peyton over Lane was big, King continues to roll. So they had a 22-20 win over Westinghouse. They're 3-0, well now 4-0 because they got the big win over Brooks last night. They finished with Morgan Park, Peyton, and Lane. So King going against 2 undefeated teams and a team with 1 loss. So we'll see if they're able to kind of survive that grind down the stretch. They are led by running back Jamar Lewis. Lewis is only a sophomore. Last year he had 589 yards and 11 touchdowns as a freshman. Their stats were only updated through 3 games, and so those were 2 of those games against white division opponents, but he had 471 yards and 5 touchdowns through the first 3. So that's running back Jamar Lewis down there at King, which we'll hope. I mean, I'd love to be able to see that team some way this year. Brooks over Johnson last week, 38-8. That gives Brooks their first win of the year. Johnson falls to 0-3. Morgan Park took care of Phillips. I think we mentioned that already, so that was 30-0 over Phillips last week. Again, Morgan Park also has that tough schedule end of the year. King, Kenwood, Simeon down the stretch. That Morgan Park versus Kenwood game and the second to last game, and then the last game of the year, Morgan Park versus Simeon. Bulls Prep defeated Clark, and then Amundsen took care of Taft 28-6. Taft still looking for their first Chicago Public League win. Amundsen, where we saw a couple losses early, again, Smith Beeson in at quarterback now, healthy, and they've had some nice wins the last couple weeks here. So we face them not next week, but the following week, and that's going to be a good game.
I have some stats here.
Yeah.
Courtesy of the Barrett family, Ronit Barrett and the Barrett. They have like a bunch of 7 kids. So here are the stats. So for first time, for rushing, we have Max Warner, 89 yards with a touchdown. Von Conrad, 17 yards with a touchdown. On the passing side, Von Conrad, 137 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. On the receiving side, Bennett Duras, 1 reception, 26 yards. Rayton Scottmere, the Riz God, 2 receptions, 65 yards. Miles Bardna, 4 for 42.
All right, thanks, and we appreciate the stats. That's a nice add-on to our broadcast. We've got a couple minutes here coming into the game. I think if I just take a quick look at some of the stats, so we had Conrad came in. And just kind of looking at things and what matters. Conrad came into the game, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's thrown 2 picks, one a dubious pick, but also with another touchdowns tonight. So 13 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. I mean, that touchdown, and so what that's leading to, if I had to make an observation here, is that all year the Dolphins have been winning the turnover battle. They came into tonight at a +9 margin. They've got 2 turnovers tonight, both forced fumbles by Rayton Scottmere. We've turned the ball over twice, one of those right at the end of the first half. So that's a big-time thing. Max Warner, we've talked about him coming in 510 yards. He's almost got 100 already tonight, averaging close to 10 yards a carry. He's got his 10th touchdown of the year already tonight. I think the other thing on the receiving side, we've really seen Rayton Scottmere. He's got another touchdown tonight. We've seen him, and we've seen a lot of big play Bardsma already. So, and in addition to that, both those guys came in with 14 receptions, tied for the team lead. We also have 6 guys that have caught touchdown passes. That's been big for the Dolphins all year. Von Conrad really getting the ball out of his hands, seeing the full field. It's not like he's just locked in on one guy. He's really making things work down there. Then if you look on the defensive side, we talked about those outside linebackers. So if I look down the list, tackles for loss, the truth, Josiah Purnell with 3. Wildermuth, 3.5. He had a couple of those last week. Logan Lopez, 2.5 sacks. He's got a sack tonight, and 2.5 tackles for loss during the year. Really getting a lot of production out of that outside linebacking core. And then you look at Marcus M.J. Bull Woods up the middle, 6.5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks on the year. I think those are just things that really have worked to the advantage. Some of these guys putting up some big-time plays. Bardsma going to get ready to kick it off here.
Let's go,
Miles. Got some tunes still played. We've got the unmentioned number 6 back deep, and I think also Mosley back deep to receive.
Dolphin kickoff team includes 26 Nevin Hinkle now, and our kickoff returner, Danico Fox, trying to run some coverage here. With the truth and Agent Zero down the middle.
Right up the middle. Short kickoff.
Oh.
Fielded off the hands. Woo. Yeah, Jacob Wildermuth getting the tackle on that. That was Amin Robinson covering it up.
Yeah, interesting.
Barsma caught that one a little bit low, I think. Got to really flip it around. So Phillips will come out with a nice possession here, starting at the 39-yard line. I got to get all my.
I wonder if Miles will say that was on purpose.
Might have been. Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I think one year Westinghouse, they never really kicked the ball off. They onside every single one. And I think their deal is they always try to pick out somebody and just hit a line drive right at the guy, try to get it to bounce off his pads. So underway here.
So we have Nevin Hinkle 26 in at safety, and the rest remains the same from the first half. Sheldon Williams replaced by Nevin Hinkle.
Cordell Lee, the quarterback. I think they actually do have numbers on their helmets. I think that's Hall next to him. We got a false start. So
the Dolphins, an intentional shift there.
Yep, so and that's something that they started doing in the second half of the Lincoln Park game as well. I think that that was also kind of messing with the center of Lincoln Park. So right off the bat, Phillips has to back up 5 yards.
So Dragon Warrior, Agent Zero, and the Bull shifted left, and the Truth up to the line.
Your 3 down linemen with Josiah Purnell looking like he's going to fly in off of the right-hand side. Lee, the quarterback. We've seen him with some nice completions. He's looking over to Hall. Hall reels it in. Agent Zero, bam! Holy cow, that was I think it was Joseph Gray coming up on that, and then there was some friendly fire.
We did have some
backside.
big collisions there.
I think
at the 35-yard line.
I think that Hall is down on the play. That was so Spellers kind of spun him around, and I think it was Joseph Gray, football player. We've saw him in that Morgan Park game, taking on their 6'1", 221-pound quarterback who is on the loose, and he met a brick wall in the 6th Gray. That's what you got to do. We've talked about it, feeding time at the Gray family. You got to be tough, man, when you got 7 kids running around.
I mean, you sit down and you can imagine everyone's just grabbing all the food that they can.
Do you think anybody's able to sit down? I think it's just yeah.
They just go.
No,
they just go straight.
Come on,
straight
we're
to it.
we've got a lot of the Grays listening out there, and they're like, we are they are the most polite. That I'm sure that everybody is orderly, right? They're not doing all this. That would be the Wildermuth family or the Newman family. If we had that many kids, that would be all out chaos.
That sounds right. Yeah, I think our Dolphin Tube peaked at about 2,100 viewers during Morgan Park, and then 600 of those were Gray.
Exactly.
Gray
that's what
family.
We pushed it over. Actually, that live stream went to like 2,600.
2,600. I don't know if Nielsen would count that because it's kind of skewed to one family.
All right, so the training staff continues to look, and I think it's Hall over there who got sandwiched on that. A little screen pass over to him on the sidelines. So we hope that he is okay. Got the coaching staff from Phillips out there and the training staff. Coach Finger is going to take a look over there as well.
I hope the young man bounces back quickly.
Whoop. I lost my cheat sheet there. I think that was halftime, or pregame. Actually, let's if that is pregame, I think that's my Claude Puma notes on there. We'll talk about that was halftime. All right, I'm going to go back to this. So we started talking about Claude Puma, who's over at Mount Carmel right now, and he was an all CPL offensive lineman last year here at Phillips. Claude Puma has had a few stops on his way. Claude Puma is actually from Cameroon originally, so speaks 5 languages. Puma came to the U.S. All right, Hall is up, gets a nice round of applause. Good to see that. Good to see that. He's going over talking to his teammates, heading to the sidelines. So Claude Puma came to the U.S. to play hoops originally at Culver Academy in Indiana. So he was down there for, I think, just a year. I think just his freshman year. Played basketball at Culver, one of those high-end elite boarding schools, military schools. Then he transferred to Phillips for his sophomore year, and he played basketball on the 2A state champs. Phillips had their 2A state champs when he was a sophomore. And then he transferred over for his junior year at Mount Carmel. So Puma, again, at 6'7", 308 pounds, is committed to go to Nebraska, joining Trey Taylor, we talked about at Carmel, but also had 14 offers from the Big Ten. So we're back in action here. Lee, the quarterback. Lee with some time. Lee looking and bounced it in. So, again, they're trying to look for that spot in the coverage there. He's going for Turner. Turner already has a big catch, touchdown catch on the day. So trying to get threaded in there in between the zone coverage of the Dolphins.
Yeah, there's something there. They see something, and thankfully for the Dolphins' sake, that wasn't executed as cleanly as the first one.
All right, so just underway here, 11:09. Again, the first play was the Malachi Crunch.
Ooh. Yeah, we had some Brady Bunch references going today, and now Happy Days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pinky Tuscadero, I
Demolition
think. It was
Derby.
Pinky Tuscadero was the the Fonzie's girlfriend. I think she got caught in the Malachi Crunch. Lee, the quarterback.
Big
He's
play
got
here.
Mosley next to him. 3 receivers to his left. 1 to the top. Maxwell Warner over the top there. Truth falls back in coverage. Quarterback run all the way.
Nice.
And no way, because that's the football player, Joseph Gray.
And Dragon Warrior.
Sniffing that out. Dragon Warrior and Dylan Paracchini on that as well. But that was Gray. We've seen Gray and Scottmere reading things from those inside linebacker positions. That was Lee on a run all the way, trying to get to the left-hand edge, and Gray said, no way.
Dolphin punt return team takes the field.
Ralph Jones has gotten off 2 nice punts here for Phillips. DuRoss lined at the 40-yard line. See if Bennett can get a return here. Phillips getting somebody in at the end. That was probably Lee's position, so Michael Burton Hill runs in late. A little bit of confusion there. Jones waiting for it.
18 to Nico Fox on the edge.
And then I think you're going to get a penalty. They're going to get a delay of game penalty, I think. The back judge threw that. I think he's the guy with the clock. So everybody, Phillips moved back 5. Bennett DuRoss moves forward 5.
Whenever I see that penalty, I think back to the great Pat McHale and how he could take the clock down to the very last half a second. And there can be pretty inefficient on counting the seconds in Chicago Public League sometimes.
Yes. All right.
So
Jones.
Nevin Hinkle on one edge.
Punt block definitely on here. 9 guys on the line of scrimmage. Jones booms it. DuRoss going to get out of the way. I thought he was going to go over there and field it, but Jones with another nice punt. All the way inside the 40, rolls dead at the 38-yard line against Ralph Jones.
At the 38-yard line, the Dolphins will take over.
So that was a 3-and-out for the Phillips Wildcats on their first possession. Ball coming over to Whitney Young here with 9:49 left here in the third quarter. Dolphins got that offense humming in the latter part of the first half. See if Vaughn Conrad, the senior quarterback, can keep that going. He's got Scottmere in motion, flips it to Scottmere.
Nice blocking out.
Max Warner out there for a block. Ooh. Scottmere dives forward for the first down. It was a really nice play by Michael Duncan. We've seen him make a couple plays already in this game, and he was able to get Scottmere. We had the whole line pulling out there and Max Warner out there as a lead blocker, and Scottmere still able to pick up the first down on it. But that if Duncan doesn't make that lunge at Scottmere's shoelaces, I think he has some even more yards on that. But first down. First
another
down.
Nice job there on the right side of the line. Ben Miller, Dylan Paracchini. I'm not surprised the right side of the offense is doing great, but I thought we would be skewed more to the left this game.
I'm not sure.
Personal foul on the offense.
So now they're saying a personal foul on the offense. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. Something downfield after the fact. So they'd already marked off the first down.
Huh.
And at least that's where the sticks are. That flag came out.
Really?
I'm not quite sure. Coach Finger is also a bit perplexed on this whole thing. So we have no idea. That was a mystery flag that came out way late. And I'm not quite sure what the signal were on the visitor sideline.
Where are we
here.
going?
I think part of it was because that ball, the original line of scrimmage was the 38. So they'll probably back it up 15 from there. So they'll be at the 23-yard line.
What did he see?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. So then we've got to get the chain gang to move because they had already marked off the first down. I don't know. Again, it was a 15-yard penalty, something downfield. White Hat is talking to.
I would think we're 1st and 10.
So again, I don't know if that was a. I think if it was a sideline infraction, we would see Coach Finger a little angry with his troops. So we'll have to find out. Coach Finger is talking to the back judge here, and kind of expressing his doubts of what the heck went on. Well, we'll see. Looks like we're back. Well, we're not really underway because Coach Finger is still talking to the back judge. Trying to sort this all out. I'm not quite sure. There's a negotiation going on. Now back judge going to talk to White Hat.
So 15 yards during the play.
That was a first down play. I don't know.
So the play should.
This is where we have the Sorelli's Finer Foods.
How about that? Sorelli's Finer Foods.
Yeah. Get over there on North Avenue. Get yourself a sandwich. We could probably get there and back by the time these officials figure this out. Italian beef, again, if you've got a big event, call Sorelli's, cater that thing. We've had Sorelli's the last 3 or 4 years at the banquet, end-of-year football banquet. And it has just been incredible stuff, the spread that they put on there. So you can get the full deal, or if you're just hungry for an Italian beef sandwich or a sub sandwich, head on over, talk to Aunt Patty.
We need
Sorelli's Finer Foods.
Yeah, that's amazing. We need Gene Sterator or something.
Well, dude, now this guy started coming. He was like,
so,
maybe they were just buying time because the side judge on the west side was in the restroom or something like that.
So first and 10 from the 38.
So now they're going to put the ball at the 30. So maybe they're saying first. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. What I care is that it's first down and long, though. All right. So that was maybe dead ball, foul, or something like that.
It's 1st and 17.
Conrad, the quarterback, Warner to his right, Scott Meir in motion. Conrad looking over, gets it to DeRoss. DeRoss with some room to rumble. Gets horse collar tackled down by number 45. Flag stays in the pocket. There isn't a Dolphin fan here that's not angry about that. Pretty obvious that Michael Duncan grabbed Bennett DeRoss by the collar and whipped him down right smack dab in front of the referee. I think these referees are taking a little bit of an earful here.
Yeah, well, deservedly
well deserved.
Deservedly so.
Second down and about 6. DeRoss in motion, 3 receivers to the top. Warner in the backfield next to Conrad. Conrad flings it out to Bardsma. Bardsma making a move. Bardsma, first down, big play. Bardsma. Good tackle over there by Rashard Jordan. Jordan's the guy that got up in Bardsma's grill, had a nice defensive play down in the left-hand corner of the end zone before. Here we're seeing again Von Conrad just working those short passes, using the velo, using the VK5 automatic weapon, getting a first down just across the 50, 49-yard line, 51-yard line if you're Tony or if you're Scott Clayton. 3 receivers is top. Bardsma, single coverage. Flipped out to Bardsma. Bardsma trying to make a move, getting north and south, getting out to the 45-yard line. Conrad drilled in the backfield at the end of that play. Yeah,
if you're going to call this mysterious play downfield.
If Von Conrad gets hit on that play when he got the ball out of his hands in 0.5 seconds, there is absolutely no way that could not have been a late hit. I mean, I didn't see it because I was over here looking at Bardsman, but there's no way that Von Conrad should be on the ground. Now he's got to come out of the. Is he coming out of the game? And that's Bardsman over on the sideline. So Conrad back in, but he took a lick on the end of that play, right in front of the official, right in front of the. Okay, all right. I'm gonna cleanse myself of this whining and get back to business here. Sheldon Williams, Scott Meir, receivers to the top. Inside give to
Max.
Warner. Warner picking his way. Woo! Warner spinning his way. Warner still on his feet all the way across the 30-yard line. Took 8 Phillips Wildcats to try to bring down Max Warner. He gets a good round of applause. Well deserved from the sideline.
The chosen one came to play on this Friday night, Barry.
Really good. Again, vision, patience, power. All of them. Chosen one.
yardage is good enough for a Dolphins
First down, 30-yard line. Two receivers, top Bardsman to the bottom, inside give. Warner stumbled a little bit right out of the give-go there, and Michael Duncan able to make the tackle. So Duncan takes down Warner. No gain on the play. 6:57 left here in the third quarter.
Starting what's hopefully another sustained drive.
Yeah, I mean the Dolphins and just tallying it up. You had Conrad already with 137 yards passing in the first half. You had Warner close to 100 yards. He's probably over 100 now. So Dolphins definitely putting some yardage in the books tonight. Bardsma had a look there.
Like his man slipped. It would have been.
So Conrad got it out in a hurry. I saw Bardsma and Conrad and Coach Finger working some drills after practice on Tuesday. That one got on Bardsma in a hurry. So third down. Ball just outside the 30-yard line. Conrad checking in with the play. Gave a little tap to his guy Bardsma. Said, don't worry, I'm coming back to you. Scottmere, Bardsma. These guys are definitely weapons there to your right-hand side. Conrad says, now, Rayton, you get over here to the left. I got Bardsma, single coverage to the right. That's where I want to go. Bardsma, a little back shoulder. Timing just a little bit off on that. Bardsma run to the sticks and a little out route, but came in a little bit wide. Fourth down. Dolphins going to go for it here. Big fourth down conversion earlier in the game when Scottmere took the reverse. See if Coach Finger wants to dial up something like that. We know Scottmere as the lefty quarterback, but he's going to line up on the left-hand side, so probably not advantageous to that rollout for Scottmere. And then we got some movement on the front. I think that was Phillips jumping into the neutral zone. That would be helpful if it was.
Smart play by VK5.
Yep, so mark it off 5 yards.
Yeah,
has not been the cleanest played game here.
One of the plays of the game was I think, VK5 tracking down the interceptor.
Oh, absolutely.
He was showing that 5 Akron gravel Duhan speed there.
Yeah, there's gravel in that. I mean, it's a new uniform, but I think it comes with gravel.
It does. That number 5 jersey has gravel on it.
It's like other people have rhinestones. This one has gravel stones. Williams in motion. Quick. Yeah, that was a little too fast, but again, some good pressure off the side. Kevin Johnson was in quick on Conrad. Yep, they're trying to get it to Warner over here on the side. So that will be, again, a nice drive. Started at the 38, got backed up to the 30 after the mystery call. Dolphins able to push it down inside Phillips territory, but eventually a 4-and-out, so still 21-7 here. 6:15 left on a beautiful night, south side of Chicago, Gately Stadium, Chicago Public League Metro action.
It's gorgeous. We have Sheldon Williams back at safety, Jacob Wildermuth checking in outside linebacker. He had some nice stunts running with 52 MJ the Bull on that Lincoln Park game. Let's watch what the Dolphins do here.
All right, Lee, so you got 2 running backs in the backfield.
Here we go.
There's a little shift over. That's Williams, who is in motion, but I saw a lot of this. I watched the Phillips Johnson game, and I got to say, I think the referees in that game just eventually gave up on players being set before the snap because, and it was more on Johnson's side, but there were just so many procedure penalties to start with on that game that later on it just looked a little bit like an I-9 football game where it's just like, all right, let's get some action in here. But that's 5 yards backed up for Phillips. Lee, we've seen some good plays out of him at quarterback. Inside Jacob getting there, slowing it down. MJ Woods and the rest of the Dolphin. That's a pod.
That is a pod of Dolphins.
I think that was Mosley on the carry.
Yeah, good penetration by Jacob Wildermuth, and then cleaned
Again,
up by
those
the pod.
outside linebackers, dominating, holding that edge, forcing it back into guys like Pericini, MJ Woods, Alex Oshevsky.
Big country.
Yeah, so I said MJ. I think that's actually it was the Dragon Warrior in there to start with. Oshevsky's playing that right end. Pericini on the nose. Agent Zero. Zero is your hero. John Spellers at the left defensive end. Wildermuth, Lopez, your outside backers. Scott Meir, football player Gray inside. Lee trying to get guys lined up. Mosley, the running back next to him. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left.
Blitz.
Lee back to pass. Big time blitz. Spellers trying to get to him. Scott Meir trying to get to him. Eventually, Lee fires it out of bounds. Good coverage on the back end. So, yeah, that was a little bit of a cover 0.
It really
Coach
was.
OD dialed it up.
Yeah, the looks that we're able to show are so much more advanced, I think, because we have 27 seniors.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, these guys, and what Coach Finger was saying, like a guy like Rayton Scottmere a couple of years ago, he's starting both sides of the ball as a sophomore, right? And so he got a lot of time on JV, but also just a lot of practice time, a lot of reps. He's been getting reps since he was 4 years old trying to play linebacker for the Packers. But you see that, absolutely, Jack, that you see that being paid off in some of these things and what they're able to do on defense. Looks like Scottmere showing a blitz up the middle.
Get there, Jacob.
Flips out, ball on the ground, Jacob, and the ball is still on the ground. I think Lopez got on top of that.
Again.
Logan Lopez with the fumble recovery. That snap came out hot. Lee was not able to corral it. Wildermuth with the pressure, and then Logan Lopez scooping that ball up all the way inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, our outside linebackers, again, stepping up.
So Phillips with the fumble. That's their 3rd fumble of the day. The 2 previous caused by Rayton Scottmere tackles. That one kind of an errant snap to start with. Puts the Dolphins in business. 4:52 left here in the 3rd quarter. Conrad, quarterback, gets Scottmere in motion. Inside, give to Scottmere.
Outside.
Rayton to the corner. He's got blockers. He's putting his head down, and he's in for a touchdown.
Riz God!
Riz God touchdown. Good block again. They had that earlier where Max Warner, if you want to, at Missouri, throw in a little fullback lead blocking duties, he did a nice job. Scottmere got to the corner, then put his head down and got that 10-yard touchdown for the Dolphins, putting them up 27-7. Luze on for the extra point. Dr. Edwards going to deliver it to Dr. Conrad. Oh, man. He got it through there. Holy cow. It's number 50 or 58. He's wondering. 58 is Caleb Billingsley. Caleb Billingsley, the 6'2", 260-pounder, is wondering how he did not come up with that.
No, I think
hammered it home.
At the game 4 years ago, Barry, the kicking gods were not on our side. Now, that I don't know what I think that was. He was a ghost on that play, and it went through.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
and it's good to see. This is our first win since Lyndon Johnson was president, I believe.
Well, don't start counting your Lyndon Johnson chickens before they hatch here. All right, so just going back to the scoring recap, Scottmere, that's his 2nd of the night. He's got a receiving touchdown, now a rushing touchdown. Conrad's got 1 on the ground. Warner's got 1 on the ground. So Scottmere, that's 6 total for the year for the senior. The Swiss Army knife, Norwegian Leatherman, made in China, Riz God.
Woo.
Making a bid for Chicago Public League first team honors kind of guy. All right.
Dolphin kickoff team.
Big play. Bardsma hammers that one deep over the top of
get there.
Everybody from Phillips. Check up at the one.
Make something happen.
They're going to be downed. Come out to the 20-yard line.
If I'm
there
the
you
coach,
go,
you're going to have to make Miles kick. I know he thinks it's not cool, and not the cool kids don't do it. It's not sexy, but he needs to be the kicker.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
although the Ninja, also good.
Yeah, Ninja's going to. We'll see if he's back next week. I think he got hurt on that last when he was in the last possession against Lincoln Park. So I saw him around in a boot.
Good options to have. Ninja,
try to get him back.
Big play.
Yep. And Luze, of course. I mean, he's hammered the extra points. I mean, 4 of 4 on extra points, stepping in for the Ninja. That's big. And we talk about a lot of these little things in Chicago Public League that you've got to execute. And it's something the Whitney Young Dolphins under Coach Dan Finger have been great at for many years. Phillips got all sorts of guys running around out there. So that's a Wildcat run.
Outside contain.
A good tackle in the backfield. I'm not sure who got to him. That was Ezekiel Williams, I think, running out of the Wildcat.
I think the football player was in there, and you do not want to run into him.
Yeah, he's causing some havoc over there. So good job by the Dolphin defense. I think no gain on that play.
Back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line.
We'll have to see. That's now Lee is back in. I'm not sure if he was in on that play or not. That, to me, looked like it was just a Wildcat run. Looks like we're going to have a timeout.
We have a Dolphin down, hopefully cramping.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I think I think we got the Dragon Warrior might be down over there.
Yeah, when we came here 4 years ago, I thought I didn't know if the program would be in a position to win a big game at Gately. We've done that and beat Phillips, and so this would be, if we can hold on, this would be a monumental and a very, very good thing for the program.
Yeah, and we look at what Coach Finger has been able to put together here, and I always I feel like I start trying to tell the story, and then then the game starts again. But again, this program, and really looking back, it's always been good. There were a lot of years, though, but a lot of years playing at the white division, never a dominant type of program. And then just really struggled for numbers and ended up getting shut down. I mean, I think they played the first couple of years, but then just didn't have enough players, shut it down for the rest of the year. And then then to bring the program back, Coach Chris Millett came in. Coach Millett went undefeated. I think it was an 8-0 type of season, but at the white division, right? So you weren't eligible to do a lot of things. Coach Finger was an assistant coach on that staff. Coach Millett left after 1 year to go over to Hope, where he's built up a juggernaut at that 1A level. And Coach Finger installed, I don't even know how old he was at that point.
I think he was probably like 8th grade.
He was 8th grade. Yeah, he was 13. He was 13 in 8th grade, and he got the head coaching job. And since then, it's really not that there hasn't been a bump or two in the road, but the last 3 years, this team has really been humming, and 4 out of the last 5. Lee winging it deep. Receiver's got a step. It's a nice ball, but I think out of bounds. Yeah, so double coverage there, but Lee threw that thing from about the 10 all the way across the 50-yard line, and gave his receiver an opportunity for it right along the sideline. And the receiver came down with it. I think it was just out of bounds.
I think
that was Michael Turner again.
Yeah, Kendall
Turner has looked good.
Back on providing nice coverage there.
Yeah, and they, the film I had watched on these guys, they ran a lot of wide receiver screens. But today, again, they've been throwing the ball. They've been pushing it deep a little bit. Have not been able to get the running game going. But there have been some positive plays from Lee to some of his receivers. That'll bring up 3rd and 10. 3 receivers heading off to the left-hand side. 1 to the top. Looks like Mosley in the backfield with Lee. Again, a shift. Looks like blitz is going to come up the middle with those middle linebackers. And here they come. Ball had to come out. Almost DeRoss almost was able to come up with that. I think that was off of Ezekiel Williams' hands. Lee had to get it out of there in a hurry. And DeRoss was deflected, so not the easiest play to try to make.
Yeah, Coach O'D throwing an interesting look there. Like a double shift before the snap.
Yeah. And Coach O'D always talks about how Bennett Newman gives him a hard time about how all of his defensive plays can just fit on an index card. But, I think he's using the back of the index card at least now. And really, you just as long as you can run that core D and do it well and do your assignments and do things like fill gaps and maintain edge and things like that, that works. But some of these other things that they've been putting on film and getting some reps in are going to be interesting. Looks like the punt block on again. They're going to try to get after Ralph Jones. High snap.
Oh, yeah,
there it is. There it is, and return for a touchdown. Woo!
Wow, a lot of penetration there.
It's a scooping score for the Dolphins.
I did not see who
I'm
it
going to
was.
try to get. It was. I think it was I think it was Fox. I think Fox on the recovery.
Danico Fox on the right edge.
Danico Fox with
yeah.
the recovery. I don't know who came through to block, but that was dialed up. Coach Finger coaches the special teams.
Wow.
They saw that as opportunities, and we're coming after it.
It's our first scoop and score of the year.
Yeah, there we go. So Danico Fox in the box score. You got a in the box. Oh, look at that throw by Coach Finger. Whoa.
Wow.
Look at that throw. We got a new quarterback here.
Yeah,
right,
I watched the practice
punt.
a couple weeks ago. Coach Finger was doing kickoffs. He could do a really good onside kick.
He can do it all.
Yeah, he can.
Luze on for the extra point. Dr. Edwards, Dr. Conrad, Luze, Dr. Luze hammers it through. 35-7.
The extra point try is good. The Whitney Young Dolphins lead the Phillips Wildcats here. 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter of play in tonight's contest.
So 35-7, but we were 7-7 in this game late into the second quarter. Little bit maybe along the same lines of a Lincoln Park game,
right?
Where
for sure.
You're facing a team that has some athleticism. I do think one of the things in baseball they talk about WAR, which is wins above replacement, right? And they always talk about like, hey, if a guy is like a 4 or 5 WAR, 5 wins, and that's baseball. It's 162 games. I try to think about like Coach Finger and what the WAR is for him and his staff. And maybe it's not the easiest thing to make, but in games like this, a lot of times you're facing a physical opponent, but your team is disciplined and you stay with it, right? You make some adjustments. You've seen some adjustments defensively, seen some adjustments offensively, and I know that around the Chicago Public League there's a lot of respect for Coach Finger and this staff, and I think wins above replacement for these guys, definitely in the positive column there. That was a nice tackle. That was Pantoja down there.
Pantoja shot out of a cannon that time.
23-yard line.
Dolphin D taking the field. Yeah, outside of the first quarter, they've really been able to stop Phillips.
Ball going to be set down at about the 23-yard line.
Got some different Dolphins checking in. The Dinger at middle linebacker now.
Yep, so Lee Dingfield in for Scott Meir.
Josiah the Truth Purnell back in the game at outside linebacker.
Yep, Hinkle at safety, and Kendall Lynham, the senior corner, is out there. Also, I think a new corner on this side here, so both Bardsma and Warner out of the game. See if Lee tries to maximize that. That was good closing speed. That was Adrian Del Villar, right?
Devonder Shoemaker in at the other corner.
Del Villar, nice closing tackle on Mosley there for gain of about 3. So Del Villar in at the right end. MJ Woods, Dragon Warrior Dylan Paracchini on the nose. Lee, the quarterback, Mosley behind him. 3 receivers to the top. Actually, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Lee looking over to the sideline. I think coach is sending in a new play. Again, they've got plays on their wristbands. There's the inside give to Mosley. Jacob Wildermuth shoots in from his outside linebacker position. Little, if any, gain there.
I think just the outside linebacker, you pointed that, they continue to shine in this game.
So they've come in to make those tackles, but we've seen them maintain the edge and make some big plays, either making them themselves or forcing it back into the action, and other Dolphin players making those tackles. .202 left. This has been a long third quarter.
Woo,
First half kind of flew by. We've had a couple delays on some injuries. And Phillips not quite as crisp at getting their plays in right now. 3 receivers for Lee to the top, 1 to the bottom. He's looking that way. He's throwing deep. He's got the receiver open, but just overthrows.
Yeah, Coach O.D. was signaling pass, and
Camonte Irving, the receiver, sophomore, he had the jets.
Ooh,
he was full on, man. Yeah. And he had 3-4 steps, and Lee just overthrew him a little bit. Not much. We don't have much for wind at all out here tonight. It has turned into a super, super comfortable evening. It was a hot day today, but nice night for football right now. Again, Chicago Public League action. Dolphins came in tonight at 3-1 overall, 2-1, actually 4-1 overall, 2-1 in the Chicago Public League, looking to go to 3-1 in the league. Here's Jones, punt block again on all 10 guys at the line of scrimmage. Phillips staying in tight with all their guys. They motion somebody out. That's Shoemaker on him. High snap. They're coming again. I think they got a piece of that. DuRoss just going to get out of the way, and Jones still is able to get that ball rolls all the way down to the 36-yard line.
Got a hand on it. Yeah, sophomore Danico Fox having a great game.
Yep, in the scorebook with a touchdown on the possession before.
A couple good kick returns also.
So Phillips with a 3-and-out, and Whitney Young takes over. 1:26 left here, 35-7. Got a couple new guys in as well for the Dolphins. Cameron Bound, the wide receiver, to the top.
82.
Freshman. Got a catch this year. Got this refereeing crew also. What is going on, guys? What do we need? Not sure what we need. Now we're gonna get it going. Conrad, pony backfield of Gray and Warner. Keeper for
Vaughn.
Vaughn gets to the edge, picks up about 7. Nice tackle over there by Ezekiel Williams. We've got somebody down on the play. And that is Von Conrad down on the play. He's sitting up right now, so Sam, the trainer, is over there going to get...
Who was our backup quarterback?
Aiden Zhang.
13?
Aiden Zhang going to start throwing the ball around a little bit
I think he was slinging it around on the JV game the other day.
Yeah, actually. We didn't get to the JV highlights. They dropped a game against Kenwood, but Conrad's going to come over here. Let me get to those because Zaid Abdul Alim sent me some quick highlights on this. So the Dolphins started the game with a 6-minute drive. Zhang TD pass. So we'll see Zhang in here for at least a play while Von Conrad gets everything checked out. It looks like he's wheeling around his left arm. Left arm might have gotten a little dinged up in that. Henry Ellis had 2 tackles for a loss. Zaid said Henry Ellis's motor never stopped. We like to hear that. Mason Abdul-Alim strong 30-yard run up the gut in the 4th period. Cam Brown, 4 catches for 40 yards from Zhang. Ryan, Chase, and Jameer, 2 PBUs each. But in a loss to Kenwood. There's Zhang. Give to Warner. Warner hammered down. Kevin Johnson came flying in.
Yeah, good experience for the Young Dolphins to get on the road game at Kenwood. Tough place to play. I believe Kenwood was hanging tough. Kenwood JV with Mount Carmel JV.
Ah, yes. And those games, that game actually, so Zaid Abdul Amin broadcast that game on the Dolphin channel. We'll see if we can continue doing those things. A little bit of a different technical setup, but see if we can do that. Conrad back in. 3rd down. So Vaughn had picked up about 7 on that carry. Now about 3 or 4 yards to go. Conrad back to pass. Conrad going deep.
Well, his right arm is still looking good.
Yeah, his right arm looked great. He was trying to get to Scott Muir out there. Overthrows him. Good coverage out there by the Phillips defensive back. That looked like that was Roderick Johnson Jr., the senior. Roderick Johnson Jr., the senior. Senior in schooling, junior in lineage.
So
how about that?
Yeah, good crowd here tonight. Dolphins fans traveled down to the south side.
We'll say the one thing at Gately is that they do not allow cowbells, and so sometimes
don't
you
like
might
the cowbell.
Yeah. Gately's got to run a tight ship here. There's some tomfoolery that sometimes happens with some of the fans down here, so they run it tight. So cowbell, so maybe not as loud as sometimes when you hear it out at Rockney, but that's the issue. Conrad, 3 receivers to his right. Give to Warner. Yeah, a little off on the timing there, a little bit of low on the snap. And then that was Charles Ramsey again. Ramsey's had a nice night. He's been in the backfield a couple times. So for the 3rd time this season, the Dolphin punt team is going to come out.
I think that was a 4th.
Oh, yeah, that was 4th.
Yeah, that was
Sorry.
4th. I was surprised that we didn't at least get a rep there on the punt team.
Oh, yeah.
But the Wildcats take over.
Here I am telling stories, singing songs, losing track of things that are important. Del VR, MJ Woods, Paracchini, the line. I think MJ Woods was maybe signaling over there like, hey, I would like to come off the field at some point.
Should be the last play before the 4th quarter.
Yep, 11 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Lee, the quarterback, ball in Dolphin territory. He's got Mosley to his right, 3 receivers to his left, 1 to the top, locked up in single coverage. That's where he's looking. Completes it. Hammered out there. That was Hinkle on the end of that tackle, but good pitch and catch. Lee hits Calvin Moore over there. Moore had a nice sideline catch versus Lincoln Park and a 25-yard jet sweep touchdown against Johnson. So he can bring it. End of the 3rd quarter, 35-7. So we'll flip it over. We're going to jump around here a little bit. Brian Miller ready to jump around.
We're going to jump around here to 103rd Street. A really nice effort, 3 quarters in, exercising some demons here against Phillips. And the last time we beat Phillips, Barry, there was only 1 star on the Chicago flag. It was before the 1893 World's Fair.
It was right around there. I want to say thanks to Troy Brown Jr. Troy, I don't usually have a chance to look at the chat. So number 6 for Phillips is Ashton Williams. I had him as number 3 on my roster, but Ashton Williams, the wide receiver cornerback, senior 5'9", 175-pounder. Thank you, Troy.
Yeah, we've had 6 weeks of great weather. Outside of the one cramping game against Morgan Park, it's been really, really nice. Dew points And the weather gods owe us still from that Ignatius game.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't want to jinx it, but
there's ever been a Ignatius game. We had a. Did we have a rain game last year? I know we had a couple.
I still remember Joseph Clayton built an entire plastic fort. I'm sorry, Scott Clayton
in his cube. He had the cube.
A full cube, so none of that.
All right, Phillips and Cordell Lee. Lee, senior quarterback. Got Mosley next to him. We haven't seen a lot of Jamillion Howard tonight. He had a touchdown run versus Johnson in a couple other big games. I thought I saw an early carry from him, but we haven't seen him back. It's mainly been Hall who went out earlier, and now Mosley. Mosley's open there. It was good little run in there. Trying to get it to Mosley.
Yeah, Dolphins had it nicely covered.
So there's some good size on this Phillips offensive line. Again, Deontay Clemens, we talked about him, starting left tackle, 6'6", 330, known well by the Cepeda family. They're here tonight, along with Juan Cepeda. Juan playing up at Roosevelt University. Mentioned some of the other guys, Harrison Gossa down at University of Illinois, Jason Perez at North Park, Sam Wyatt out at Pomona. Cash Amos at USC.
USC came to the Midwest last week and left with a loss. To the Illini.
Lee, the quarterback.
Get home.
Looking deep. He's got a receiver. And I think hauled in for a touchdown catch. That was a great pitch and catch. Really nice throw.
It really was. Yeah, it was.
Was that Michael Turner again on the reception of that?
Yeah,
Michael Turner, 9.
Yeah, decent coverage by corner Devander Shoemaker, but just a really nice pass.
So Phillips and Turner. Turner had the 80-yard touchdown. Now that was about a 35-yarder, right? 40-yarder. So he's going to be over 100 yards receiving, and Lee definitely has some good stats from a passing perspective.
Yeah, much like the 49ers tight end last night, Barry, I thought about picking up Turner. He's on the waiver, but did not start him in my
he's on your bench?
It's CPL Fantasy League, yeah.
All right, Phillips going to go for 2 here. Lee, the quarterback, Mosley to his right. He's got 2 receivers, top and bottom. Dolphins going to look to put a stop on this here. Lee looking. Lee firing. Woo. Just a little bit out of the reach of number 82. That's Calvin Moore over there. So the score will stay 38-13 here. 11:47 left.
Dolphin kickoff return team hasn't been that active this year. We have Brian Pantoja, number 8, and then Danico Fox will be deep, I believe, along with Maxwell Warner again. 88 making an appearance. Arlen Cooper.
Yeah, Arlen Cooper. Arlen is a freshman, right?
Arlen is a class of 28 sophomore.
Okay, all right.
Amon Cooper doing a really nice job representing the dads for the class of 28. Big play Barsma. We have kind of a quasi-hands team maybe checking in, Barry.
Yep, I think that you're right.
16 Sheldon Williams.
I don't even know if it's quasi. I think it's full-on hands team.
Jacob Wildermuth, he plays defense. Still good hands.
Soft, supple. So it's just Fox back deep, right? Yep. Fox back at the 20. Ezekiel Atacola, the kicker for Phillips. We've seen bang through the extra point first time around. He's going to kick it high and short.
Get on it.
Yep. Good job. So that was actually That was Arlen Cooper, who is back deep and did exactly what was instructed of him.
Nicely
Collect
done.
the ball, get down. We got nobody blocking for you.
Yes, no, there's a lot of downside, and good discipline by Arlen.
Okay, looks like still the first unit out there for the Dolphins. 35-13, still a full quarter to play here. Actually, Arlen Cooper's going to stay in at wide receiver. So Cooper in at wide receiver. We do have Cooper in a wide receiver, and it looks like Chase Green. Chase Green also checking in.
I believe the first time this year.
So Green and Cooper in the lineup. Conrad, Warner next to him. The give to Warner. Warner working his way.
Wow.
Warner hammering his way out to the 43-yard line. Again, the vision, the power, the speed, the chosen one.
The chosen one really came to play tonight.
Just working those combo blocks up front. Paracchini, Big Country Oshesky, MJ Woods.
The Bowl, Logan Jones.
And 56 with a 36.
Ben Miller.
Good offensive line work. This game is not moving that fast. It's already 10 o'clock. Woo! 11 minutes left to go. Not that I want it to end. I'm having fun. Hopefully everybody out there in Dolphin land is having fun as well. That's Chase Green in motion.
Stay healthy.
Give to Warner, trying to work the corner. Not much going. He's out of bounds. No gain on that. Second down.
So what do we? You have some. So Northwestern, Louisiana Monroe.
Yep.
Tomorrow.
There aren't a ton of kind of like the CPL. There are not a ton of top 25 games. I think is it Florida State Miami might be the
tomorrow night. That's a fun one.
Yep, and I think that might have been the only matchup of top 25s playing each other. I mean, there's some good games out there, of course. And then, of course, Cubs Brewers starting tomorrow.
Wow.
Phillips loading up in the box here, loading up the line of scrimmage. Conrad gets it out in a hurry.
Nice.
He's got it to Chase Green.
Woo!
Oh, it wasn't to Chase Green. I got excited. It wasn't to Chase Green. It was to
I think Sheldon
Williams. Sheldon
Yeah.
Williams with the catch. Chase Green wearing the orange cleats. That's how we get it.
Yeah, it'd be
But that
nice
was,
to see a nice reception to number 10.
Yep, so third down at the 46-yard line. 10 minutes left here. So, yeah, Brewers-Cubs. I'm a lifelong Brewers fan. Sorry, all you Cubs fans out there. I mean, not sorry that you're in the playoffs. This will be a good one. There's Green, gets the ball, trying to get to the corner. He's got some blocks, turns it upfield. First down for Chase Green, fighting his way to the 42-yard line. Pointing his way to the first down.
That's great to see. Yeah, he's fighting through a lot of some injuries this year, and nice to see Chase flashing some speed.
Yeah. So Chase has the lineage. Mark Green, his dad, played at Notre Dame and with the Bears. Nice little, and that's it's a nice way to get a guy like that little inside pitch, and also a stat that the quarterback dad loves because it goes as a pass.
Yes.
But gets the ball in their hands and get some blockers out there. So we've seen a bunch of these plays in different ways, right? It's not the traditional, the traditional sweep offense. The Dolphins have been able to get to the edge. Scott me on a couple of these things where you get the inside give and you get the running back actually out there leading the way. And that was really nice. I mean, Chase Green, you saw the speed, and then he finished that play, which is nice to see.
First down.
9:26 left here. Got a Phillips player down on the field right now, but he's getting up here shortly, and we'll be back underway. Look like Roderick Johnson Jr., the senior, coming off the field. Again, Coach Ivan Simmons in his second year here with Phillips. So Phillips had Troy McAllister for a long time, then Joe Winslow. Joe Winslow Jr. was a quarterback for a couple of those years. He was the quarterback for that drubbing that they handed the Dolphins back in the 2022 season. A little catch over here by DeRoss.
Yeah, nice play quickly by the Wildcats.
Yeah,
nice to see.
We've called out Michael Duncan's name a bunch of times tonight. Good job on defense for him.
Bennett DeRoss on the board with the catch.
Yeah, I thought there were conversations on Tuesday that we were actually going to see Iakunle Espinosa-Allen tonight. Working his way back from an injury.
33 baller.
So hopefully we'll see him here for the last third of the regular season. Conrad back to pass. Conrad going to keep it himself, working to the sideline, and then pushed out of bounds.
Who was the ref saying no?
Or maybe it was the Conrad family.
Yeah. I mean, they have a big weekend of Oktoberfest.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the Lederhosen are all starched and ready to go for the family singers. Got another Phillips player down on the field right now, behind the action. But yeah, Conrad just sneaking out there. And yeah, I don't know who it was. We just heard somebody say, no, because it was just one of those spots where you know you're headed to the sideline and the defensive player is coming with a lot of momentum. But he pulled up nicely. Vaughn out of bounds for a gain of a couple. 8:32 left here in the fourth quarter. Hey, can you see if we can get a score on that? I was Brother Rice game? Checking out ESPN on it.
We're checking it out. Yeah, high school game on ESPN. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was actually Charles Ramsey that's down. He's made some nice plays tonight. Really seen some athleticism out of him.
Update, end of the third quarter. Mount Carmel 27, Brother Rice 14.
Okay, so C.J. Gray working their way back in there. 27-14. Could set up for a nice fourth quarter there. Again, those teams, I think, they'll both be at 8A level this year. There's Chase Green. Inside give to Max Warner. Warner got it going there. Just a little bit short of the first down. Warner again over 100 yards tonight. Fourth down. Got to get to the 32. Probably about a long 2 yards here. See what the Dolphins want to do here. See if Phillips going to load the box up in that A gap. See if those linebackers walking up there a little bit. Conrad surveying. He's got three receivers to his top. Looks like Phillips wants to run that direction. Conrad pulls it. He's got DeRoss if he can get to him. Oh! Just out of his reach.
Yeah, he flashed open for a second, a little bit late on the
good
delivery.
Coverage. Good coverage over there by Phillips. So turnover on downs. We have had a lot of possessions in this game.
The Wildcats will take over the ball first and 10, 35-yard line.
More Dolphins getting some action here. 31, Jameer Spencer. 26, Nevin Hinkle at the safety. 16, Sheldon Williams remains at the safety. 4, Jacob Wildermuth. And 3, Josiah the Truth Purnell at the outside linebackers.
Lee, the quarterback, going to go with an empty backfield here. 3 receivers to the top, 2 to his right. Again, that big Phillips offensive line. Going to try to block for him, trying to get it deep. The Bull on the rush. Woo! Good pass delivered there.
Velo.
Yep. Camonte Irving couldn't quite pull it in, but man, Lee, good-looking quarterback. Cordell Lee.
Looked like Bennett Newman with that cannon back there. Little less ginger. Same speed.
Well, that's the one thing with these Dolphin quarterbacks. Definitely Newman and Conrad can put the velo on it and can get the ball out of their hands in a hurry. Conrad will run it a little bit more, but neither one of those guys, good clocks in their head, good quick releases, just do not take many sacks. Also have had some really quality offensive lines operating in front of them. And good centers, right? I mean, again, Nick Dale can put it on the money. This year we've had good center play out of Solano and now big country Oshesky. There's Lee, going to look to run up the middle. Track
nice
down.
Tackle.
Joseph. Oh, that's the dinger. Ding the bell.
Ding, ding, Lee Dingfield, the dinger. Great open field tackle.
I mean, that's like, if I'm mistaking him for Joseph Gray,
Yeah,
that's saying something, man.
Yeah.
Dingfield coming up again, those middle linebackers, making guys like Sam Wyatt and Joseph Clayton and Luke Yolich proud the way they're holding down that position. Alex Dale, I'll throw you in there too, Alex Dale. You weren't too bad of a linebacker. I mean, just all state.
Yeah.
All right. 3rd down and 10. Lee with 3 receivers topside. Blitz coming. Delivers it high. See, Lee's receivers Ezekiel Williams couldn't quite corral that. I think a little bit of the same thing last week where I had some quarterback play that was really top notch, I thought. And really the last, Morgan Park, Lincoln Park, and now Phillips, we've definitely seen some good quarterbacks at the Chicago Public League division, and some of the things just not going their way. Some of that's been center quarterback exchanges. Some of that's been receivers not able to haul things in. But Lee definitely looks good.
Looks like we have our normal punt return team.
Yep. So
here,
Ralph is looking at it saying, I like that a little bit better than having all those guys. Ralph Jones, the punter, who has had 3 really nice punts but also got 1 blocked. That was a line shot, and oh my goodness. The Hinkle came running up to it. Like, I don't know if he thought it. I wonder if he thought it got blocked. Anyway, he did veer away from it at the very end. But that was a little scary for a second.
To touch it.
6:18, 35-13. Next week, Dolphins will travel. Technically, it's a road game, right? But we're at Rockney.
Rockney.
It's against Clark, but it'll be Clark's home game. We may still say, we only have power. We only have power on one side, so we'll just have to fight our way through the Clark faithful there. But that game will be, I think that's a 7:30 kick. So close the year for the Dolphins with a matchup against Clark, then Amundsen.
Senior night.
Amundsen. That's a home game against Amundsen. And then we travel up to Taft on the north side for the last regular season game. Conrad, that's Fox. Fox in at running back. Showing some nice burst.
18,
Danico
Fox.
He is on the board tonight with a blocked punt return for a touchdown, and also we think he got a piece of another punt. So that was a nice 1st down run. Picked up 4. So Fox in at running back against Sean Miller, out for tonight's game at least as the number 3 running back. Max Warner's had a nice night tonight. Catching a breather on the side. We've seen some guys. There's Chase Green in motion and back. Good catch across the middle. Heading north and south.
Pass from Conrad is completed.
That was Arlen Cooper, right?
Arlen Cooper,
yep.
88, looking like Michael Irvin out there.
Swerving Irvin, Arlen Cooper.
Yeah.
Really nice job. I wanted to make sure I got that call right. It took me a while. Cooper's not going to go down for a second. I think he got a little got hit at the end of that. But
yeah, I'm the same. I didn't catch a number, but wow, really showing some speed. Nice catch.
Yep.
Nice yak.
Conrad got that out in a hurry. Senior quarterback. Again, we're going to put that asterisk next to that interception at the end of the half. But good job so far. Conrad opened the scoring with a 1-yard run. Then Phillips evened it up on that 80-yard touchdown from Lee to Turner. Then we had the Conrad to Scottmere touchdown. Then after Scottmere forced a fumble, had the chosen one touchdown run. Really nice run off to the right-hand side. Kind of messed up that call, by the way. I think I said it went left, but it really went right. And then
that's okay, Barry.
Scottmere on the rush.
It's been a fun game.
For
some reason, it's just been seems to be taking so long.
Well, right now they actually have the clock running, which I mean, there's still coaches on the field. Nobody's getting set, but I think the Gately clock operator had the same thing in mind.
He's looking forward to some Lumonades or pizza or something.
Conrad trying to get it over there to now we got Pantoja in at wide receiver. I like that.
Cooper's right back. Yeah, heading up on 3 hours total for the game, which is a little longer than most high school games, I think.
Yeah, yep.
All right, let's finish strong. VK5. Jacob Wildermuth checking in for his second offensive series of his life.
So lining up at that tight end position.
Let's see, yeah.
So we got Cooper, I think, closest to us, right? Chase Green is in. Wildermuth finding his way into his tight end spot. Let's get him the ball. Fox in the backfield. Phillips is going to end up taking a timeout here. Oh, and of course, as usual, I've got the timeouts all messed up here.
Yeah, Jacob is buddies with Vaughn. They play cards together sometimes. I think maybe agree to lose a hand or just slip him an extra Gatorade or something to get a catch.
Absolutely, man. And I was thinking back again to some of the fun things. I think it was here, right? It was here. You can't answer that question because I didn't say what it was yet. But Jacob Mraz,
a senior touchdown.
Jacob Mraz got the touchdown here last game of the year, and Jacob was a guy who was a great athlete, but battled through injuries for most of his career. And I think it was Alex Dale because Bennett Newman had a broken thumb at that point of the year, and I think Alex Dale was the guy that was able to get him that touchdown. Conrad getting over here, Wildermuth trying to get the stiff arm in on a guy in the book.
That's pretty good stat. 1 target, 1 reception.
Yeah, I mean, and you actually have him playing as your tight end position.
I do.
Right?
I started him as my tight end. I thought about Jake Tongas, but I decided to go with Jacob. It was nice.
So Wildermuth in at tight end. So he gets his first catch. Arlen Cooper had his first catch, and Chase Green with his first catch on that inside give. Green again. So you got Green, Wildermuth. And I think it's Cameron Brown to the top. Ooh. And that just out of the reach of Arlen Cooper. That was Brian Jackson back there, almost coming up with the deflection for Phillips.
Yeah, there have been some good memories on the passes. So Moraz, I think that was a really cool. He had 17 targets, 1 reception, touchdown.
Yeah. Well, they were. And I think it was Newman was. I think he got a couple passes in, but then it was against Hubbard, and the score was in the Dolphins' favor at that point, and they were sort of rotating Anthony Hood at the Wildcat quarterback and Alex, and I think everybody was just like, we want to get Jacob the ball, and they did.
Got him a touchdown.
Cool.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, my son, Josh Wildermuth had a touchdown on senior night with a hospital pass from Pat McKinnon.
That was Green in motion. Conrad
Woo!
Got an open receiver. I think we're making it all work. Yep, that was Cameron Brown.
82, Cam Brown, ran a really nice route.
They're testing the live stream guys, and I always try to do my little test on numbers. And these guys, this will be good. Cameron Brown, committed to memory, 82. Arlen Cooper, number 88. Chase Green, number 10. And we already knew number 4, Jacob Wildermuth. But yeah, then senior year 2 years ago was the big 2-point conversion on the fire to Dominic Duenas. All right, clock running 3:12. Fox next to Conrad. The give to Fox. Fox working his way inside. Nice run. Fox has shown some wiggle tonight.
Have a night, 18.
So Fox is a sophomore. Again, a lot of this stuff, again, you got 27 seniors. So it's one of those things of when you have that size of a class, you're not, back in the day, like Coach Finger was saying, you had guys like M.J. Woods walking in off the street and starting as a freshman. You had Nick Dale, Juan Cepeda starting as freshmen, getting a lot of reps. Now you got a senior-dominated team. There's Fox. Keeping his feet. Fox into the end zone. Touchdown. Wow. He got hit by 2 guys in the backfield, kept his feet, and then hit the accelerator. Denico Fox, 5'6", 150 pounds of lightning.
Woo! Strong. Nice run.
Touchdown here, 2:18 left to go in the game. 41-13. Luze on for the extra point, getting that kicking ball in.
Nice drive, to your point. The Arlen Cooper, Chase Green, Cameron Brown, Jacob Wildermuth, all with receptions on that drive.
Nicely done. We got a...
It's a flyover again, but it was a grasshopper.
The fake over the top. Oh!
Yeah.
Well, they gotta. Why not? Why not throw that out there? They're probably trying to get it to Devander Shoemaker in the corner. It was Conrad lofted it over his head.
Yeah, get that on the tape.
Luze.
Give our future opponents something to think about.
Caden Curran also in on that. On the
that looked like a little, maybe a little
there.
like
had a few other guys out there.
Fabrizio
Bell,
Upremium, is that his name? Who threw the passes? The Dolphins kicker?
Yeah, Garo Upremium. Yeah. Chester Markle from the Green Bay Packers once.
Yes.
That was a great call. So who is? Oh man, it's gonna escape me. Jim Irwin was the play-by-play guy, but it was one of the famous Max McGee. Max McGee was the color commentator, and nobody else will remember
Packer,
this.
Right?
Yeah. He was the guy that was out late carousing before the first Super Bowl, and then Boyd Dowler or something got hurt, and Max McGee had to go in, had a huge game, and he was hung over to all regards. But Chester Markle was the kicker. He's a Polish guy, kicker for the Packers, and it was a game against the Bears. It was back in the 70s when the Packers were absolutely terrible, and Markle, it was like a game that was like 3-3, and Markle got the kick blocked right back to him. And Chester Markle, again, a Polish soccer player, didn't know anything about football, just basically ran with the ball like kind of tucked under his arm like a loaf of bread in for a touchdown. And Max McGee kept yelling because at the time, I can't remember the Pope, but he kept yelling, "The Pope is Polish! The Pope is Polish!"
John Paul II.
Bardsma with the kick.
Shot out of a cannon.
Some good blocking on the. There's a big old block in the back, but they're just going to say, we're just Mosley with that return. We're just going to try to keep this going here. So egregious block in the back in front of the Dolphin bench, but even the Dolphin coaches aren't going to care too much about that at this point.
2:12 left in the game here.
Pantoja in at safety. Niven Hinkle back there as well. Kendall Lynham getting some good time. Tim Edwards checking in on the defensive side of the ball. Wildermuth still out there. Devander Shoemaker at the other cornerback spot. Adrian Del Villar. And I think we might have a Max Tunk sighting. Max Tunk on the nose.
67.
Lee, the quarterback for Phillips. He's got Mosley to his left. 2 receivers top and bottom.
Dinger.
Lee's got an arm. He's going to want to wing that thing out there. Nice reception. Good job on the back end of the tackle by Hinkle, but that was a really nice reception. And again, Lee's been delivering those things all night. That was to Calvin Moore.
Yeah, this team is pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, and I haven't looked to see. I mean, I do think that they have a lot of seniors that are playing. Rashard Jordan is a junior. Turner is a junior. So, I mean, he's had 2 touchdown catches tonight. He'll be making some noise in the Chicago Public League going forward.
Ooh.
There's Lee winging it deep again. Good
Caden
coverage
Curran
out there.
On the coverage. 19.
So Kaiser, Turner, juniors. Camonte Irvin, number 15. He's got some speed. He's only a sophomore. Also, Mosley is a junior. So they will definitely have some guys coming back here trying to rebuild this program. Soft rebuild, I guess, but again, talking about a team that was always in the state conversation, and it's a competition here. I mean, it's like at the same time Phillips is losing a guy like Troy McAllister as a head coach. You also have Kenwood building a program and really putting a lot into it. You've got the legacy of Simeon. You've got Morgan Park. So it's and then you have all the Chicago all the Catholic League schools as well. So there's a lot of talent here. Good pitch and catch there.
Oh.
Trying to get to the edge. Got to the edge. On his horse. Finally wrestled out of bounds. That was Michael Burton Hill. So big first down. Inside of 2 minutes, 1 minute and 23 seconds left here in the fourth quarter.
See if the Dolphins
Clock
can get
stops.
a hold here. We have Angel Rodriguez in 62 as well.
We get to call a lot of guys for the first time. Rodriguez, a junior. Lee going to try to get this ball in the end zone for his 3rd touchdown of the night. He's connected with Turner twice already. Clock running inside of a minute. 2 receivers top, 2 to the bottom. Mosley next to him in the backfield. Lee looking deep with some time. He's got a receiver over there.
Whew.
Just outside of the outstretched hands of Calvin Moore.
Lee's pass is incomplete.
Could be Angel Rodriguez. Sorry, my Spanish is poor. As if you didn't notice the first time I tried.
I mean, maybe you're doing with a traditional pronunciation.
Trying it.
45 seconds left. Again, now we can call it in the books. Dolphins going to move to 5-1 overall, 3-1 in the Chicago Public League. Facing off against Clark next week, then Amundsen, then Taft. 5 wins also makes you playoff eligible. Should not just assume these things. We're getting a little spoiled as Dolphin fans these last couple of years.
I called the game in the second quarter and just said we're in the playoffs. not jinxing any of it.
Lee looking to his right, going deep. He's got a receiver just out of his reach. That was a nice ball. Calvin Moore trying to corral that in.
Lee's pass is incomplete.
Lee coming over, talking to Coach Simmons.
Interesting coverage for the Dolphins on that play. 38.4 seconds, Barry. We're going to get there.
We are going to get there.
Let's finish
this
game.
It's been fun, but it's been long.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we have anybody still listening to us out here. I think Fabrizio Bell back, defensive back on that side, playing some safety. Phillips going to line up 3 receivers on that side. Fabrizio Bell come up with the play back there. Lee looking over to the sidelines. Single coverage to his right. The receiver there. He's looking left.
Blitz.
Good covered. Wildermuth coming from behind.
Oh.
Lee keeping his feet, getting out of bounds. That's actually Fabrizio Bell coming up to make the play.
Do we have a
8 yards on the carry.
Clock will stop there with 30 seconds left. I think a first down on that, right?
we had a penalty as well?
They're winding the clock here.
Saying he's in. I say he was in bounds.
And that's what the referee said, too.
Yeah.
And they're saying
We gotta-
Phillips is like, just get back on the line, throw the ball in the end zone. 20 seconds, clock is moving here. 3 receivers, they're not hurrying too much to get to the line. Come on, we want to at least get a play in here. Lee looking single coverage on the top. Wasn't able to. Oh, the clock stops. Clock stops with 6.5 seconds
I think
left.
that was 4th down. And one thing we forgot was a reference today about Bobby Brady.
Yes.
Number 84. And he was a slot receiver on his,
He certainly
on his
was.
team. And I think our slot receivers are better than him.
Yep, I think so. I think
yeah.
that I think 70 Sports Guy says that he wasn't really one of the best slot receivers there. Rayton Scottmere taking care of business tonight. Dolphins are going to come out and get into that favorite formation.
The Dolphin victory. Fins up formation.
Fins up formation. Von Conrad, again, senior quarterback, taking care, but lots of contributions across the board tonight. Touchdowns all around, sprinkled all around. Conrad, touchdown run. Scottmere, touchdown pass from Conrad. Warner, touchdown run. Scottmere, touchdown run. Fox, punt block, return, touchdown. Fox had 2 touchdowns tonight. Love it. Scottmere and Fox with 2 touchdowns tonight. Again, Dolphins go to 5-1 on the season, 3-1 in the Chicago Public League. We will be out and about at Rockne Stadium next Friday night lights against Clark. We will update you then on the rest of the Chicago Public League standings, but we are getting into the action. Do we have some final stats that we can read?
We really do.
That would be
really
super exciting.
Courtesy of Blake Milberg, young statistician, helping us out.
So, Blake, I know we were talking about him. So, Blake, I heard about you at practice. I know that you're into statistical analysis, right? And so you approached the coaching staff about doing some type of things, and I think the coaching staff was like, we're not really that quantitative in our action because talking to Coach OD, but we're happy to have you on board. So you gave us some running stats here that we're going to give, which is big because there's a lot of action tonight. We don't always have this many stats, but Jack, tell us what Blake cooked up
on the
for us.
rushing side, we have Maxwell Warner with 130 yards.
All right, over the century mark for the 4th time this year.
130 yards. Von Conrad, 6 rushes, 24 yards.
And the tutty.
And then Fox, 3 rushes, 11 yards with a touchdown.
All right.
Those are the rushing stats. And then on the passing side, Von Conrad just had a lot of passes. It was just a lot. And he had 225 yards.
Hey, that is, I do believe
Yeah.
that is a career high for Von Conrad.
That's a lot. And then on the receiving side, Bennett Duras, 3 receptions, 37 yards. Rayton Scottmere, the Riz King, what is it?
Rizgod.
Rizgod is 79 yards receiving. Miles, big play bars, 51 yards. Sheldon Williams on the board with the reception for 5 yards. Arlen Cooper, 1 reception, 32 yards. Brown, 82, 1 reception, 7 yards. Jacob Wildermuth, 1 reception, 3 yards.
All right. And so, again, that was awesome to get us that information because that is, I do believe, a career high for for Vaughn Conrad in passing yards. Earlier this year, he was 9 of 16 for 189 and 3 touchdowns against Perspectives. I'd have to go back and look, but again, the senior quarterback doing his job. Maxwell Warner. So Warner came in. That's his 4th game over 100 yards. Top performance was the 9 carries, 153 against Carver, 138 against Westinghouse, 131 against Lincoln Park, and now 130 and change tonight for the chosen one. So good numbers all over the board. The most important number was number 1, which is the win, going in the win column tonight. See Coach Finger down, going to talk to his troops, give them the little pep talk at the end of a hard-fought game. Say that 5 times fast.
That was tough. Yeah, thanks again to Blake.
That was almost a bad ending.
Milberg. I thought he was the son of Roneet and Brian Barrett. They have like 13 kids, so it's hard to look like one of them.
He looked like Brian, so maybe it was just we'll have to talk to Blake's mom there. But anyway, there's the selfie for the Dolphins. Jack, thanks a lot. It's been a lot of fun. Hope we got everybody's weekend started on a good note. Sure did for us. We'll see you next week, everybody. Go Dolphins.
Nice job.